Warning. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
We've talked about many topics. Let's now discuss your 7-point plan. And is it realistic? I mean, one of the things that you're talking about is paying African Americans for slavery.
Yes, sir.
Now, the President of the United States, how many presidents did it take to apologize for slavery? You have to know that that's not realistic. Reparations, it won't happen.
Well, sir, the Japanese were paid reparations. The people who are called Jews were paid reparations. Some of our brothers and sisters of the indigenous people who are called by the white man Indians, some of our brothers and sisters were paid reparations. And we can never say that it is unrealistic. It is a goal. It is a platform. It is a just demand against our oppressors and those who indeed owe us to repair the damage. So because you feel that it is unrealistic is not reason enough that the youth would take it from the 7-point program of action.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm, especially for this one today. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And there's 2 links in the description. One link is the link to our Telegram. Is that right? Yeah, to our Telegram. Make sure you join the Telegram group so we can circumvent the shadow banning that PukeTube has been doing with the new black media. And the second link, as you all know, is the petition for reparations. So if you have not done so yet, please make sure you click that link and put your signature on that petition. With that being said, family, let me first say happy Arotasasi to each and every one of you. And being that the history of Arotasasi is about us freeing ourselves, using this time to free ourselves, I felt that the best gift to give would be to free a lot of these bootlicking, cooning, tap dancing Negroes' minds, and to cleanse ourselves of tether rhetoric as well as Nabiscos stupidity. So, since I won't be seeing you guys tomorrow, I wanted to make sure I got this done today. Before we get started, let me do what I do. Let me give a B1 salute and shalom to our sister, Hurricane Nisi, in the building. Much love to you, my queen sister. Thank you for being here, as well as our other sister, Andrea Jones, is in the building. Shout out to you, my queen sister, and I hope you are doing better. I hope you are doing well. Shout out to our good brother, Black Truth United. Shout out to our good brother as well as his Cashapp donation. Thank you for your contribution, my good brother, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. As well as our good brother, Black RU, is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here as well. Estelle Gray is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. As well as our good brother, Zavon Scott, is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. JVB Boy is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. As well as A Law Solution is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. Shout out to the Chi-Town all damn day. Shout out and much love to our good brother, Mr. Fireworks, in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Our sister Taste and Teas with Tony is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. As well as our good brother, Reparations Nation, in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my good brother. As well as Legit Hustle. Thank you for being here, my good brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Our good brother, Breeze Omega, is in the building. Much love to you, my good brother, and I appreciate you for being here. And for everyone who is not in the chat, much love to you, and thank you for being here. And everyone who's going to catch this on the playback, much love to you, and thank you for being here as well. Family, like I said, this is going to be one of those ones where we have to put some nonsense to bed. Because whether people know it or not, and whether people are willing to admit it or not, all the work that the foundational Black American grassroots has been putting in is not only being seen across the United States, but across the world. I also want to make it very clear that there is no stopping this. There is nothing people can do nor say to slow down this train. This train has left the station. It is going at 267 miles per hour and rising. So no matter what you put in front of this, it's not slowing us down. We're busting right through it, and we're going to maintain and stay on the path that we're on, the rail, the track that we're on. And for all those who is taking all the energy they have to try to derail that train, you'll find yourself under that train, severed by that train, and no longer with us, because that train will leave your ass the way you're supposed to be left, behind. Let me give a B1 salute to our family, Double Dragon in the building. Much love to you, as well as our good sister, Astarte Jones in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my good sister. Now, let's start with what's going on with Westmore, because this whole conversation is going to be about Nabiscos, Tethers, and reparations. We're going to have to get some things straight for these folks that think that they're going to be running around here trying to jump on the Nabiscos coattails because they really don't want us to get our reparations. We got to get some things straight for all the people who wants to run around and say things such as, well, you know, everybody had slavery at some point in time. America didn't create slavery. We're going to tap into all of that today. We're going to push all that to the wayside today. And we're going to make sure each and every one of these slow, yellow bus riding, helmet having idiots in the back of the classroom understand, overstand, and understand that this is going to happen. And you can't stop it from happening. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, reparations will be paid. Shout out to our good brother Damon Reeves in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Let's start out with Westmore, because in case you guys didn't know, the legislation over there in Westmore State decided to overturn his veto on the study for reparations. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a damn about a study. But what they showed by doing such to that tether, the legislation is showing, hey, we don't respect your gangster. Number one, we don't respect you as a governor, and we don't respect you as a person. You vetoed this. We're about to put it back on the table. That I can get with. No worries. Okay, cool. The study, that'll take a little time. No worries. Let them study. Although I'm against it, it is good that they came out and made Westmore look like a fool. Let's get into it, though, family. Let's go here.
Maryland lawmakers elect a new House Speaker during today's special session in Annapolis, but that wasn't the only thing the General Assembly did. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost was in Annapolis this afternoon.
And she reports on today's actions from the House and Senate. Everyone is lining up behind the new speaker in the state of Maryland. Even some Republicans say they're optimistic about a new era of leadership. But the House and Senate ultimately told Governor Westmore they're not accepting some of his vetoes, including the fact that they're now going to move forward with the Reparations Commission in the state. Tuesday morning, progressive groups and leaders from around Maryland stood outside the State House to rally in support of Delegate Jocelyn Peña-Melnyk to become Maryland's next Speaker of the House of Delegates.
And I don't have words to express how I feel about my colleagues trusting me with this enormous responsibility to lead.
Shortly after, the House officially electing Peña-Melnyk, and she was sworn in. Speaker Peña-Melnyk outlined her vision for the House, and while she prepares to hit the ground running in January, a nearly $1.5 billion budget deficit will be looming, something she says she's ready to tackle.
We must also address the serious budget challenges we face with honesty and discipline.
The Speaker says she'll work across the aisle, and everyone's ideas are welcome at the table, which is a positive change, according to some Republicans.
Look, Maryland's a very left-leaning state. We know this. But look, she's going to let us speak our mind, and I think at this point, that's about all we can ask for.
Lawmakers also overturned several vetoes from Governor Westmore, including a bill to study the impact of data centers on the state.
It studies things like the air environmental impacts. It studies the economic impact on how many jobs are brought to your state when you build that. It studies the demand on the cost of energy.
While Republicans don't often align themselves with Governor Moore on this issue, several in both chambers say they supported his veto.
So yes, data centers are a problem here. We don't need to spend $1.2 million of taxpayer money to prove that.
But arguably the most controversial veto override, the creation of a commission to study reparations in Maryland. While vetoing the plan, which was a priority for the Legislative Black Caucus, the governor said he did not want another study. Rather, he wanted action. The Democrats fiercely pushed back on the floor.
It's easy to get beyond things when you're not one of the people who's been despaired. It's easy.
Yes, we know the institution of slavery.
Family. What did the delegate Terry Hill just say? It's easy to push back when you were not one of the ones harmed in this situation. She basically just blatantly called Westmore a tether without saying it in so many words. Let's run it back.
Action. The Democrats fiercely pushed back on the floor.
It's easy to get beyond things when you're not one of the people who's been despaired. It's easy.
Yes, we know the institution of slavery was evil. This is about what we do as a way to repair the harm, the damage.
Acknowledging the sensitivity surrounding the plan.
Nobody's trying to suggest that what reparations was originally designed to discuss is not an issue. That's not what we're suggesting. But what we're suggesting is this. Do you need a commission to study something that's already been studied?
House Minority Leader Jason Buckle said his issues with the bill centered around the vast vagueness of the language.
We oppose the bill because of the open-ended nature of more. How much will it cost? We don't know. What will be the criterion for the possible reparation relief? We don't know.
After a lengthy debate, the General Assembly officially voted to override the governor's veto of the reparations study bill. Moore says he disagrees, but respects the authority of the lawmakers, adding, "I still believe we must prioritize the policies that protect our people. I hope to find ways to partner with the General Assembly to drive results that make life better for Marylanders right now with urgency and without delay."
Family. Westmore think he's going to be running for president, and it looks like he's going to have to find out the hard way. Oh, I'll respect the decision of the legislator, of the caucus and everything like that, but I just feel like we should get things done. So what have you done, Westmore, since you vetoed the bill, since you said that the time for action is now? What actions have you taken, Westmore? What reparative actions have you taken for the descendants of American slaves here in America? Not a damn thing. That was just your way of saying no, trying to make it sound good, and everybody knows it. And that's why you were called out in the way that you were just called out. Because you are not about doing the work, even though that's what you love to say. I'm about doing the work. I'm about doing the work. It's the time is now to do the work. You have the power of the pen. What work have you done? So if anything, you're the delay. You could have came right on out and say, you know what? We're done with studies. The time for studying is over with. However, what I will do is I will place grants and funding into the foundational Black American community. I will be putting more programs together for the children of foundational Black Americans so that they can be less in the streets and more into productive situations. I'm going to make sure that foundational Black Americans are able to get property if they want property, land grants or whatever. You have done nothing. So right now, a study is way more than anything you have done since you vetoed it. Let's be very clear. You ain't talking about going after no race soldiers. You're not talking about looking over the Maryland laws to make sure there's no discrepancies to actually target foundational Black Americans in any capacity, whether within banking, whether in the legal justice system, any of that. You have not said or done nothing since you vetoed. And that's just what you were meant to do. That's what you decided to do in order to appease your paymasters. With that being overturned, that just goes to show you have no influence, not even in your own damn state of Maryland. You think you're going to be able to get into the White House? Oh, no. No. That dream of being the next Obama, that didn't went bye-bye. That went bye-bye a long time ago. The reparations situation was just the rubber stamp on your paperwork to get the hell up out of here. Let me give a B1 salute and a shalom to our good sister, Aquarius Minded in the building. Much love to you, my good sister, as well as Shelly in the building. Much love to you, my good sister. Thank you for being here, as well as our good brother Antithesis in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Let me also give a shout out to Rael in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, as well as our good family Juice in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. Now, you hear all these people complaining about reparations because they know we're getting closer and closer to reparations. They know that we have not let up on not just speaking on reparations, but pushing that policy, whether they like it or not, whether any politician on the left or any politician on the right likes it or not. We have been pushing reparations for foundational Black Americans, and it has been a tremendous, what is it, almost 10, 12 years, because it was right after Obama got out of office. Everybody got on code and said, hell to the damn no, and said no tangibles, no vote. And because of that no tangibles, no vote, because of the fact that we wasn't going to go just give our god dang vote away to no god dang super predator Hillary Clinton, we were able to really show how much power we not just had then, but how much power we had in the last election as well. Let me say this, and shout out to our brother Crew Reality in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. There is a fear of how close we've gotten ever since then. I'm sorry, I said 10 to 12. It's almost been 10 years. 2016, we're coming up on 2026. Yeah, 10 years. It is a real fear that we are closer than we've ever been. And guess what? That's good. Or let me say it in the words of Jason Black, in the manner of Jason Black. This is good. Because we are closer than any of our previous generations have ever been. And they know this. They know it. So in case y'all didn't know, California, not California as a whole overall, but San Francisco has now passed a quote unquote reparations bill for Black Americans in San Francisco. Let's go here, family.
We'll move now to a story we've been following for several years. Reparations for Black San Franciscans are back on the table.
And today, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors passed a measure that would create a fund designed to help Black people who have been harmed by past city laws, including redlining from the 1950s through the 70s.
ABC 7 News political reporter Monica Mann is digging into the story for us. Monica, how much money would be added into this fund?
Dan and Alma, that's the kicker here. As things stand right now, the city is not appropriating a cent towards this reparations fund. That might have made it easier to get the board's full support when the city is in a financial deficit. But supporters say, at the least, this sets up the framework for actual funding in the future.
Now, catch that, family. This is still a nothing burger because there is no money attached to it yet. And it don't sound like they're going to be attaching any funds to it. But the pure optics of this is sending people into spirals. This woman just said, made it very clear, made it very simple, very freaking plain that there is no dollar amounts attached to this. However, the pure fact that they're passing this, they're setting up this commission. They're setting up this quote unquote fund. That's enough to drive people insane. A shalom and a B1 salute to our good brother, Mr. Know-It-All in the building. Much love to you, as well as our sister Priscilla Taylor in the building. Shalom to you. Thank you for being here, as well as our sister Brenda Thomas. Once again, my sister, much love to you and thank you for being here. Let's let it continue.
I think it means repair.
As a descendant of slaves, James Taylor has long advocated for reparations.
My own hands have touched my grandfather's hands, and my grandfather touched his grandfather's hands, and that was a slave. So think about how recent that is and how economically the empty hands of my grandfather left me with nothing because the empty hand of his grandfather, who started in slavery, left him nothing.
Taylor says he's pleased San Francisco is revisiting the issue after the city rejected a controversial proposal to pay a lump sum of $5 million to qualifying Black residents in 2023.
This most certainly is different than asking the city to pony up dollars to support reparations recommendations.
Supervisor Shaman Walton's ordinance merely sets up the fund to receive money either appropriated by the city or privately donated.
It's going to take some time. We got to build a pot and then, of course, come up with the criteria in terms of how we're going to prioritize what recommendations we address first. But this is a major first step.
Some of the
No. San Francisco is a sanctuary state. I am a Californian. I will let you know all the money that goes into these illegals in San Francisco. Y'all could put together some funds to put inside of that fund that you guys are creating. A fund that has no funds in it is not a fund at all. What happens to a bank account when you don't have any money in it for a certain amount of time? They will close it. So just creating this fund is wishful thinking if you do not put funds into it. Let's be very clear about that. And let us have no misconceptions about that either. Just because you create a fund don't mean that that fund will ever be funded. If you can create a fund, you should be able to allocate funds to the fund that you created. Let me say that one more time for the slow bus kids in the back. If you create a fund, you should be allocating funds to that fund. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that that fund will ever be allocated any type of funding. It's just wishful thinking. Let me give a B1 salute to our good brother, the Big Black God. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Shalom to you. Thank you for your Cashapp donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution, my good brother, as well as our good brother Antithesis in the building. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, my good brother. Out here supporting, and I 100% appreciate you, my good brother. Much love to you, and thank you once again. Let's let it continue. Oh, shalom to our good brother Don P in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Let's continue.
The city's previous recommendations for Black reparations range from assistance with down payments for buying a house, improved access to education, and cash payments.
Redlining, making us pay taxes for education where our children couldn't go to those certain schools, pushing us out, gentrification. There's so many things that have been done to us systemically. And we have seen populations, we have seen races, we have seen ethnicities receive reparations, but we have not seen that for the Black population.
If funded, San Francisco would be one of the first major U.S. cities to actively offer reparations for Black residents.
And that terrifies them. Why? Because as California and New York goes, so goes the rest of the country. So they see this nothing burger and they get so riled up over this nothing burger because they're fearful that the nothing burger will end up getting some meat on this bun. Pause. But let's let this continue.
So who would be eligible? Black San Franciscans who can prove that they were harmed by past discriminatory city policies or prove lineage tied to slavery in the U.S. could tap into this fund once there's money. And worth noting, though, part of the pushback in the past was the cost with San Francisco's repeated budget shortfall in recent years.
But their budget shortfall did not, and I repeat again, did not stop them for putting all this funding into illegals. Putting all this funding into a bunch of illegal aliens. Y'all didn't have no problem doing that, and you don't have a problem allocating funds each goddamn fiscal year in order to support illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. Let me make sure I say the proper term that's actually in the immigration code. You guys had no problem allocating resources quarterly, every fiscal year, to make sure these folks are not deprived or sleeping on the streets. So yeah, I'm looking at you, San Francisco. This is still a nothing burger. So y'all need to come together and figure out where your funds are and then reallocate those funds into that fund that y'all are creating. Otherwise, this is the same nonsense that the Congressional Black Legislative Caucus did a couple of years ago. Get the bill, go through the studies, get the bill written up, only for them to leave it dead in the goddamn water.
This is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a reparations person.
Well,
But you
we
won't
should
vote
have
for the bill.
We should.
I
we should
supported the
have a
bill all
conversation.
session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Sebi?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
it up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
This would be just a repeat of what those folks did. Let's be very clear. And since it's coming from San Francisco, I smell Reverend Flip Flop got something to do with this. I'm sorry, Dr. Reverend Flip Flop. Amos. I feel like he has something to do with it. Let me give a B1 salute to our sister Key Prince in the building. Much love to you. Much love to you. And thank you for being here, as well as thanking you, my good brother, Mr. Know-It-All. Thank you for your super sticker. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contributions as always, my good brother. Now, I want to go here because, like I said, although it's a nothing burger, you know the gameplay. They see how close it's getting. They start tripping out. They start sending out their stooges. They start doing and saying things that is absolutely idiotic. And for some of the black folk, coonish. And for others, tetherish. Let's go here.
Well, San Francisco has approved reparations for black people. A city that never had black slaves, in a state that never had black slaves. According to
family, we already didn't debunked that California didn't have black slaves. Or the city of San Francisco didn't have black slaves. That's why the California Reparations Task Force had to do what they did, their study, because they just disproved everything this woman is about to say. Let alone California was a return you're a slave state. If you were caught up in California and you was a slave, guess what? You would be returned to your owner. The Quakers had slaves, and in San Bernardino, in Oakland, and in the Bay. So, for this woman to say, a state that never had slavery, in the city that never had slavery, we know you to be a liar, and your nickname is shit. But let's continue.
the bill, they will provide restitution, compensation, and rehabilitation to individuals who are black and or descendants of chattel enslaved person and have experienced a proven harm in San Francisco. That's a lot of requirements. I wonder if they're going to be using the one drop rule. Anyways, if you live in San Francisco, you better get your ancestry checked. Last I heard, it was going to be up to $5 million. Well, San Francisco.
Yeah, and Dr. Flip Flop Amos did not want that to happen whatsoever. Y'all remember that dang letter that he sent to the governor talking about, oh, just give us the $5 million. Just give the NAACP the $5 million. And we'll create programs and a bunch of nonsensical bull stuff. Shout out to our sister Aquarius Minded. Exactly, a whole beige Becky. A fantastic point, my brother Damien. He says, shit, they still have sundowntowns in California, and you ain't lying about that. You are not lying whatsoever about that. Go to Ukaipa. Yeah. Hell, Temecula used to be a sundown town, but so many black folks moved out there, that changed. Hell, you can't even go into certain parts of San Bernardino. Because for those who don't know, San Bernardino County is huge. This is where you get the Arrowhead Mountains and stuff. This is where you get the Arrowhead water plant of the Arrowhead Water Company, where they have their plant over there. The closer to Arrowhead you go, the more Nabisco it gets, the more sundownish it becomes. Exactly, Double Dragon. San Bernardino, slave colony. You're absolutely correct. Excuse me. Let's continue, family. Like I said, these folks, what it is that they're terrified that it's getting closer and closer and closer. With everything that we do, they're seeing actual production out of all the things that we're doing. They're seeing progressive production. We're fighting. We're standing on our square, And little by little, people are starting to talk like us. Little by little, people are using our talking points. Little by little, people are speaking on reparations, and not just a flat black reparations, a reparations that is distinct to lineage. This is what's terrifying them. And because they're terrified, they're going out pushing that dumbass rhetoric that everybody was a slave at one point in time. Everybody had slavery at one point in time. America didn't create slavery. That is a nonsensical argument, and it's bad faith. It's a bad faith, nonsensical argument, and we're going to get into it right now. Shout out to our sister Janetta in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, as well as our brother Och in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, my good brother. Let's get into it. Let's go over here, shall we?
The original sin of slavery. The original sin of slavery.
Now, this is a clip, a video clip that the Nabiscos are circulating around because it's kind of teaching them the new talking point. And that's not working. That's not working at all. Let's go into it.
The original sin of slavery.
The original sin of slavery. Today, Americans are taught when it comes to slavery, America was the worst.
The Atlantic slave trade from Africa to the Americas was different from any other type of slavery.
The United States didn't inherit slavery from anybody. We created it.
American slavery was worse because
the slaves were reduced to property. They were chattel property. No other system of slavery did that except American slavery.
That's complete nonsense. Wilfred Riley is a political science professor and author of Lies My Liberal Teacher Told Me.
Spoiler alert, he's the liberal teacher. Spoiler alert, he's also the liar. Let's hear his lie.
Generational slavery, like if you're the son of a slave, you're a slave. That was extraordinarily common. Slavery around the world was slavery. Books like this, Unfinished Nation.
What's your sources? What's your sources? Because slavery, generational slavery, was not extremely common. Your children wasn't born slaves if you were a slave. Where? You would have to show me. You would have to give me your resources in order for any of that to be brought to this table. And he's a political scientist, so he would be speaking to another political scientist and myself. Show me your resources that says that this was common, incredibly common around the world. It was not. In the very same way that being enslaved in a racial caste system, being just because you're in a certain caste or a certain race that you're automatically a slave, that has never taken place all over the world. That had never happened. But yet they want you to believe that our experience here isn't unique, when it's the only unique experience in this country when it comes down to lineage. Let's be very clear about that. No one can prove otherwise. You can go and say things and put them in your little books, but yet you must now show me the resources that you used in order, the references in order to write this garbage. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me allow him to speak, and then we're going to chop down some of these talking points.
Yeah. Slaves in Africa were kept unfree only for a fixed term. No, is the short answer. Most of the slaves taken by these sort of players would be either kept as slaves for their entire life or, more likely, sold to the whites and the Arabs in 2 years. Today, partly thanks to the New York Times 1619 Project, students are taught that America's slavery was unlike anything that existed before. We're the worst society ever. We've done things that no one else has ever done. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with acknowledging your historical mistakes. I mean, I'm Black, Irish, a bit Native American, at least per the family lore. I mean, those are three people that have
Family, did this man just say that he's Black, Irish? Hold on, we got to run that back.
There's nothing wrong with acknowledging your historical mistakes. I mean, I'm Black, Irish, a bit Native American, at least per the family lore.
This man says he's Black, Irish, Native American. $5 FBAs. $5 FBAs. Get the hell out of here. So now he's claiming to be part Black so that he can seem like he's credible on this situation and nobody will question his ignorance and stupidity. Because that's what it is, family. It's ignorance and stupidity. It isn't just ignorance where he don't know something. He don't know something, but he's also doubling down on what he don't know by putting stupidity on top of his ignorance. And he's supposed to be a political scientist. Interesting. Shout out to our sister Cooking with Miss D in the building. She said these demons lie 24/7 and you ain't lying there. You is not lying there whatsoever. Shout out to Hero the Angel in the building as well. Let me also give a B1 salute and a shout out to Willie McKinley, as well as Earl, as well as our sister Key. I am Kiera in the building. Much love to you, my sister. Thank you all for being here, as well as our brother FBA Combo in the place to be. Can't forget about our good brother John Son in the building as well. Let's let this liar continue his lies.
Or, I mean, those are three people that have experienced a great deal historically. Nothing wrong with acknowledging that. But it's extremely odd to focus only on the negatives of your society and to exaggerate those.
Americans are taught that slavers caught people in Africa and shipped them here. But few are taught that most slaves were not shipped to the United States.
Between 10.7 million and...
What? We're the ones that told y'all that. We're the ones who told you that the majority of the Africans that was taken into slavery and brought to America, the Americas, went to the Caribbean and went to Brazil. Now, all of a sudden, you're saying that just to put a little twist on it so that you can say or try to ratify why you shouldn't have to pay reparations. Let's continue.
12 million slaves from Africa went to the New World. We got a little under 400,000.
Under 400,000 out of 10 million.
The extreme focus on slavery in the United States, why did that happen? One reason is that a lot of Black people survived here. Slavery was harsh, but it's a lot less harsh than clearing the Brazilian jungle.
All right, but American Blacks are at a disadvantage. They have less capital, financial and educational capital. What's the harm in pointing out how abusive white people were?
The harm is that pointing out how abusive white people were is not going to get Black Americans any more capital. Most of the problems of the modern Black community don't have...
What? Somebody...
Nigga, please!
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning, Admiral?
He had to. He had to. Pointing out what the Nabiscos did won't get you any more backing, any more funding, any more type of resources. Sir, yes, it will. You know why? Because it's called reparations. To repair the harm. And if you can't tell people who harmed you, how do you get your reparations? The Japanese was able to tell people how the Nabisco harmed them. And what happened? They got paid reparations. The so-called Native American was able to articulate how the Nabisco harmed them. What happened? They got reparations. The Chinese, they didn't even get harmed. They were just exploited, and they were given what? Reparations. The Top Hat community didn't even suffer a harm here. And it happened due to other Nabiscos. But what happened? They're still getting reparations. What in the hell is this milk dud talking about? This man looked like he's one ham sandwich away from the top button on his shirt busting out of its seams. This is the nonsensical rhetoric that a so-called political science is putting out into the atmosphere. That's ridiculous. It is crazy and is 100% egregious. Let's let them continue.
Have anything to do with historical ethnic conflict 160 years ago.
The Great Society asked not how much, but how good.
Riley says most of the problems began when welfare began.
Crime in the black community, every time I've tried to break this out, increased about 800% between, say, 1963 and 1993. Racism didn't increase between 1960 and the modern era. You're looking at the impact of the Great Society, the welfare programs.
Did you say racism did not increase? Hold on, we're going to play it back because I don't want to misquote.
60 in the modern era, 3 and 1993. Racism didn't increase between 1960 and the modern era.
Racism did not increase in between 1960 and the modern era. So all the lynchings, all of the deprivation of funds to the schools that we attend, even though we pay taxes, all the redlining, all of the bank loans that we've been declined on, all of our businesses that were sabotaged, the war on drugs, the crack epidemic, the government putting crack cocaine into our neighborhoods. What the hell is this milk dud talking about? Let's be very clear that this man is blatantly lying as if we don't have a track record that we can follow in this country. Shout out to our sister, Astarte Jones. Who is this guy again? He's a fucking idiot. And for all those who don't like to hear me cussing, I apologize. I will be more profound. However, it needed to be stated, this guy is a fucking idiot. Let's continue.
Looking at the impact of the Great Society, the welfare programs.
Riley argues it's better to teach the...
You mean the welfare programs that went majorly to white Americans? You mean those welfare programs? The programs that was really excluding Black Americans? And the only way you can get those programs is if there was no man in a home? But with white Americans, it was okay. You can just qualify without any other qualifications. There was no eliminating those Nabiscos from the welfare program or system even till this day. But the stipulation was upon us. There was even a stipulation, and since this dude want to talk nonsense about from 1960 to modern day, there's been no rise in racism. Shut your dumb ass up, because when you look at the stipulations of welfare, there were several stipulations in there that would show the average person who reads it how racist it was. All the way down to the fact if you were having children and the father wasn't in a home, that they could sterilize you without your knowledge or approval. That's not racist. Putting Planned Parenthoods in our communities while putting fertility clinics in the Nabisco community, that's not racist. Especially knowing how Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, was an anti-Black bigot and a eugenicist. But that's not racist. Somebody tell me when I'm telling a lie. I will shut down this broadcast right here, right now, if anybody can tell me that I'm lying. This is ridiculous for him to even put his goddamn, he willing to put his degree on it. Oh man, these folks. This is how terrified they are, family. Shout out to Balura Johnson in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. As well as our good brother Curtis Price in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, family. As well as our brother Payroll in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. And yes, you are absolutely correct, my sister. The Tuskegee incident, or as they like to call it, the Tuskegee experiment. They just wanted to see what would happen if we injected black men with syphilis and let them go untreated. That was just an experiment. And you telling me that there was no rise of racism? This is why these people's credibility have sunk. It has gone down the toilet in a downward spiral. So much so, if you put some ketchup in the toilet, it'll follow the path. Shout out to our good brother Mentor OG in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Shout out to Payroll. He's just boule babbling. Hey, if he's a part of the boule, yeah. Even if he's not, it's babbling nonetheless. Nonsensical babbling. Let's let him continue.
Truth that almost every society had slavery. The Aztecs, the Persians, Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, the Persians, that almost every society,
the welfare programs.
Riley argues it's better to teach the truth that almost every society had slavery. The Aztecs, the Persians, Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Vikings, and most of all, the Arab world.
The Arabs were probably history's premier slave traders.
Sometimes they captured poor whites from Slavic countries.
The Muslims, many of whom were dark-skinned or even black, took so many blonde slaves out of this region that they gave the word Slav, slave, to the global slave population.
Many slaves were forced into harems.
Sexual slavery was very much a part of slavery. Like if your group was defeated in war, the men would probably just be killed or they'd be sold as farmhands. The women would often be sold as harem girls or prostitutes.
More than 1 million Europeans were enslaved, but Muslim slave traders took more people from Africa.
The Arabs targeting Africa took out about 17 million people.
The British and then the Americans were the rare people who moved to abolish slavery.
So yeah, the British Navy, in a story almost no one now knows, sank something like 1,600 slave ships. It freed 150,000 people that were enslaved at the time.
Because the Brits objected for moral reasons.
Yeah, they had enough of it.
Saudi Arabia only abolished the slave trade relatively recently.
Well, that's another inconvenient fact, right?
The Global Slavery Index estimates that even now, although slavery is officially illegal, there are more than 700,000 slaves in Saudi Arabia.
Where there were no Westerners, you'd have a lot of slavery for a long time. And you do.
American slavery was horrible, but it wasn't unique. Our culture would be healthier if we learned about that. And schools dwelling on America's evils hasn't helped Americans get over them. Gallup polls show that after schools started focusing on oppression, race relations got worse.
The idea of generational slavery, the idea of slavery.
So basically, family, when people started telling the Nabisco about themselves, letting them know how horrific they are, how barbaric they are, all of a sudden race relations started going down. As long as we wasn't talking about it, the race relations was fine. Yeah, it sounds like someone is a snowflake. Someone can't take the truth. They're getting hurt by the truth. But let's let them continue because we're going to touch on a point that they made here.
Slave trading, none of that was unique to America. And another thing, you don't need radicalism to critique the worst excesses of an existing system. All you need is incrementalism and honesty.
In a few weeks, I'll post a video about another of Riley's myths, the claim that before Columbus, the native people were kind stewards of the environment.
I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name.
All right, family. So That's his name right there, Wilford Riley. Let me debunk a lot of the nonsense that this video clip just did. Because what they did was try to equate all different forms of labor systems with race-based slavery. See, what they did was they lumped in all these different forms of labor, from prison labor to death peonage, from war captives. That's why he said if people will go to war and they'll take people captive and things like that. Serfdom, indentured servitude. They're putting all this together and calling it slavery when it is not. When it is not. Only foundational Black Americans was defined as property because of race. Only the foundational Black American was stripped of legal identity permanently. Only foundational Black Americans were bred for labor. Only foundational Black Americans was barred from learning, marriage, and self-defense. Oh, come on, family. Only FBAs has records of being reclassified in order to maintain the enslavement. Somebody tell me if I'm lying. Please let me know. Oh, family, if you ain't done so yet, please share this out. We got to get this message out to every ear that needs to hear. Because apparently these fools think that all slavery was the same across the board. White people being indentured servants is not and was not the same thing as slavery. Not here in America. But before we touch on the other parts, the other points that they made, I'm going to allow some other Nabiscos and Tethers and tap dancers to show you that this is the talking point that these folks are trying to push. And then we're going to go line by line, and I'm going to debunk all that nonsense. Shout out to Culture Media in the build, Cultural Media TV in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. As well as Jeffrey Johnson in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. And let me give another shout out to B1 salute to our brother, Mr. Know-It-All. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. Don't ask if you're lying. Ask if you can get a witness. Can I get a witness in the house? Make sure you hitting that like button, family. Make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to our brother for this comment. I love that. Appreciations. Can I get a witness? I'm gonna have to get real churchy in here. You know what I mean? Shout out to our good brother Only Us in the building as well. Much love to you. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Now, let's go over here. Because like I said, this is what they're doing. Here's a post from one of the Nabiscos. No guilt, no apologies. Slavery has always existed everywhere there were humans from the caveman. Legalized slavery was ended by the British and Americans over a 150-year period from the late 18th century to the mid 20th century. And that's another false lie, that the Nabiscos were the ones that ended slavery. No. I've read on this very channel several times over the exact words of Abraham Lincoln And Abraham Lincoln said himself that he do not wish to eliminate slavery. If I can preserve the Union and keep the slaves, I will do so. If I could preserve the Union and not keep the slaves, I would do so. And if I can preserve the Union while keeping some slaves and not keeping others, I would do so. Also, Lincoln also said that he was by no means trying to make the Negro equal to the Nabisco. Let me say that again for all you Nabiscos who love to bring up white people freeing Black Americans from slavery. As Lincoln stated, he at no point was pushing to make the Negro equal to the Nabisco. He always said that he was in favor of white supremacy. So for everybody who's saying this nonsense, just know where it's coming from. Shout out to our sister Sybil in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. As always, my good sister. Let's see what he says here. Whites did not invent slavery. Whites ended slavery. No guilt, no apologies. I'm going to show you how idiotic these statements are about it being everywhere and people not having to deal with the redress. But let's continue. Here's another one. Shout out to Affectionate Earth in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Here's another one. White slaves were sold for centuries. To do what? Now work the fields, I can tell you that much. So those white slaves that you're talking about wasn't slaves, they were indentured servants. They had contracts. They either owed somebody or somebody purchased their contract. All of our ancestors took slaves, sold slaves, and were slaves. You're not special. Well, foundational Black Americans, we didn't take slaves. We didn't own slaves. We were just slaves. Big difference. Shout out to Legit Hustle. They hide behind semantics. Exactly. Great point. Or at least try to. Black people owned, let's get a little closer there. Black people owned and sold slaves. Asian people, Native people, and Middle Eastern people owned and sold slaves. Everyone's ancestors participated in slavery. It wasn't exclusive to white people. Stop trying to make people feel guilty for things they didn't do. Let me be very clear when I say this. I don't have to make you feel guilty. The universe will do that with no issue. All I got to do is keep telling the truth. See, you folks want us to participate in your lie in order to make you feel better. No, hell no. We're here to bring truth to light. When you shine the light in the darkness, you see truth. Let's be very clear on that. Ain't nobody's going to live in your delusion because you feel bad. What about how we feel? How we feel about y'all denigrating our history, trying to minimize our grievance, and trying to minimize our reparations, our justice claim. And like I said, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you how stupid this talking point is. But let's get over here. When I say this is the ongoing talking point, just know it's the ongoing talking point. Shout out to our sister Makiba Anderson. She says, ABK is in effect. Karma is a real bitch and not always a fine one at that. Not always a fine one. A B1 salute and shalom to our good brother V for Vengeance in the building. Much love to you. Exactly, my brother. Rewriting our factual history. That is disrespectful. That is egregious. And nobody's asking how we feel about it. So why the hell should we care how people feel when we just tell the damn truth? Let's get over here to this Nabisco.
Slaves were all over the world. Slaves still exist today.
Do you think there's a direct effect from slavery to how Black Americans are able to live today?
No, I don't. They have a chance to learn. They live in the best country in the world. If they open their eyes and listen, instead of just focusing on their little area and people that they hang out with, they would learn a lot.
But you see why they don't like Trump is because he's not a politician. He works for you and I. The guy has been a businessman all his life. He's made millions and billions of dollars. Why? Because he knows how to work with the people.
How can you say he's just like you and I when you in the next breath say he's a billionaire?
What's wrong?
Let me move that back because, like I said,
the direct effect from slavery to how Black Americans are able to live today.
No, I don't. They have a chance to learn. They live in the best country in the world. If they open their eyes and listen, instead of just focusing on their little area and people that they hang out with, they would learn a lot.
But you see why they don't like Trump is because he's not a politician.
All right, let's go over here. Y'all remember this damn tether? Hold on. Hold the hell up. It's doing it's doing some weird stuff right now. All right, family. God dang it. All right. Oh, they're trying their hardest. All right, let's just go here, family. Let's get over to this tether. Y'all remember this tether? This tether here, who loves the ground that the Nabisco walks on, who worship the feet of the Nabisco, who is willing to open his mouth and let the Nabisco stick their ass in it. Let's go over here.
White people didn't invent slavery. In fact, they were the first to end it. Yet somehow saying this is controversial. Watch what happens when someone says it out loud.
The reason there is no slavery in the world today, I mean, there's a lot of slavery in the world today, but in the parts of the world where there's no slavery, is because the British Empire ended it. That's why.
It's controversial because it's a damn lie. And people ain't letting you just run around telling lies. That's why it's controversial for anybody to say that nonsense. So what? White people didn't create slavery. That is a non sequitur. That right there is a bad faith argument. It is basically something trying to minimize the experience of foundational Black Americans here in a country that built this wealth off of foundational Black American labor. Here. Not in Africa. Not in Brazil. Not in freaking Australia or Europe. God dang Italy, Spain, here, and became the #1 superpower by doing so. Here. So that non sequitur argument talking about, oh, well, you know, white people didn't invent slavery. So god dang what? I don't give two flying shits that white people didn't create it. They participated into it. They not only participated in it, but they mastered it in the most barbaric way. But let's let them continue. Shout out to our good brother Snatch Adams for gifting 5 memberships. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution, my good brother. Thank you for being here as well. Much love to you. As well as much love and a B1 salute shalom to M. Hampton in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here as well, my family. Much love to you. Let's continue.
There is no slavery. That is, well, look, the fact that you are uneducated about history doesn't mean it's funny. So let me educate you now. Let me educate you now. I know that the woke narrative and the anti-Western narrative on slavery. Oh, you're not practicing free speech very well, are you? You're not practicing free speech very well, are you? The moment I say something you don't like, you're not practicing free speech very well, are you, sir?
Let's be clear. Slavery is evil, but it's an ancient human evil practiced by everyone to everyone. 4 years ago, I went to Ghana. I stood in a slave dungeon where people who looked like me sold people who looked like me to white people. But long before Europeans began the transatlantic slave trade, there was a trans-Saharan slave trade. For over 1,000 years, brown Arab slavers sold milk.
Guess what? Nobody cares. Why? Because we're talking about slavery here in America. Okay? I don't care about the slavery that took place over there. That's something y'all need to deal with or should have dealt with. Since you didn't deal with it, you're trying to make us put our heads in the sand like a bunch of ostriches, and do what you did. Well, the difference between foundational Black Americans and you, the Ghanaian, or a freaking Nigerian, I can't remember which one, is that we have always had that spirit of fight. Fight back, fight hard, and fight to get what you're owed. Just because you want to look back into history and say, well, everybody has slavery going on and Black people sold Black people, none of that matters at this point in time. We're talking about the labor that was stolen and the wealth that was accumulated from the labor that was stolen here off of our backs, not yours. You're not harmed in this situation, so of course you can sound like a dumbass. You don't have a problem with sounding like a dummy. In the very same way that Riley fella who's supposed to be a goddamn political scientist has no problem sounding like a dummy. An ignorant dumbass. Shout out to George McDowell in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Let's let him continue.
Millions of Black Africans across the Sahara. Then came the Barbary slave trade. In North Africa, Arab and African raiders captured and sold over 1 million white Christian Europeans. China, Korea, Japan, India, every one of them practiced slavery. Europeans did take slavery to another scale when they came to Africa. But it's not because they were more evil, it's because they had the technology to commit evil on an industrial scale. So, which major power stopped slavery first? The British, in large part because of pro-human Christian values. The same values America was founded on, the same values that drove white Americans to fight.
Family, America was not founded on Christian values. It was founded on death, theft, and free giveaways. The death of the indigenous people and enslavement of the indigenous people, reclassification of the indigenous people, the theft of the land and labor, and free giveaways to all the Nabiscos that participated. It was not founded on Christian values or with Christian values, and we're going to eliminate that talking point in a little bit later as well. Shout out to Hero for Hire in the building. Much love to you, as well as Maverick Born in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for subscribing, my good family. I appreciate you. Miss D's in the building. 6 Woman Sports. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here, family. Let's continue.
Other white Americans to free Black Americans in the Civil War. Values missing in places like...
White Americans did not fight to free Black Americans in the Civil War. They were fighting to preserve the Union. And they were losing badly at that. And that's why Abraham Lincoln decided, hey, you slaves, if you want to come and fight for us, I will sign the Emancipation Proclamation giving all of you guys freedom. Well, at the time, it was all the people who wanted to go and fight for the Union. It didn't apply to every slave across the board. It applied to all the people who were joining the Union to fight. And because of that, the Union was able to win. And that racist bigot by the name of Abraham Lincoln said it out of his own damn mouth. If not for the Negroes, we would have lost this fight. If not for the Negroes, America wouldn't be America today. If not for the Negroes, the Confederacy would have taken over. But these people think that they can come to us and tell us about our history while spewing the facts. Let's let them continue.
Libya, where today you can buy a human being for $400. White people aren't better than anyone else, but they're also not worse. Yet some black people are taught to hate white people.
White people aren't better than anyone else, but they're also not worse. You're talking about the people who have colonized the whole world and created a system of white supremacy? You're talking about the people who quite literally pushed your ass out of your home country, the people you fled from and came over here to be under? You're talking about those people aren't worse than anybody else? The people that the sun don't even like, that nature works against? You talking about those people? I'm just questioning. I gotta ask for a friend. Because black folks ain't running around colonizing the whole damn world. Now, are we? But okay, continue.
And many white people are taught to hate themselves. We keep pretending evil has a color, as if less melanin means less morality. That lie makes us ignore history and fuels racial hatred. Right now, much of that hatred is aimed at white people. But why should black or brown people care? Because hatred is a hot coal that we hold in our hand, waiting.
If you do not shut the hell up. See, this is that forgive nonsense that the colonizer taught them when they gave them the Bible and told them to put their head down and pray. And then when they opened their eyes, they had the Bible and the Nabisco had the land. And he was taught to not hate them, because hatred is a coal that you hold in your hand. And we're supposed to unite with people like this? We're supposed to want to be friends and family with people such as this? Shout out to Osiris Carter in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. As well as another B1 salute to our brother Snatch Adams in the building. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Ask them which Christian values. That is a fantastic question. Which Christian values specifically was America founded on? Murder, because the Bible says thou shalt not kill. Theft, because the Bible says thou shalt not steal. You got to tell us, what are these Christian values? Shout out to you, Snatch Adam. Thank you for that chat, that comment. That is a fantastic addition. Our sister Aquarius got the answer. Satanic values. That's what is really based off. Shout out to Indigo. Thank you for being here, family, and thank you for this comment. This is another fantastic addition. White folk white and other folks are still going to Africa to take their resources. He can miss us with that, and you are 100% correct. 100%. Shout out to our sister Cooking with Miss D. She said delineation was done by the Most High, and I 100% agree. Nobody at no point in time can write this better than the Most High. The Most High has been doing his thing. Let's let him continue.
To throw at another. It burns them, but it burns us too. It turns every problem into white supremacy while defending black degeneracy. And when the pendulum swings back, white people react with hostility. And then they defend white degeneracy. The only way out of this is to stop making morality about the color of people. Because in our capacity for good and evil, we are all equals. If you're tired of lies about history, subscribe to my Substack. I cover the stories the mainstream media won't touch. I cut through media.
I am an African that protects white Nabiscos. That's all he had to say, because that's what he does. Shout out to Nubian Page. I appreciate you for being here, family. Much love to you, as well as 369 Brian in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Let's go here, family. Let's get to some more tethers.
Slavery existed in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. The word slave actually comes from the...
Now notice who the tethers are listening to. Another damn tether.
Slavs of Eastern Europe. Millions of them, all white by the way, were captured and enslaved by Muslims in the 9th century and later by the Ottoman Turks. Slavery existed when the Roman Empire controlled the Mediterranean and most of Europe from the 1st through the 5th centuries. Slavery existed when Alexander the Great conquered Persia in the 4th century BC. It was so common that Aristotle simply considered it natural. The slave master model was just how the world operated in the great philosopher's day. Slavery existed during the time of the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. As far back as we can go in human history, we find slavery. As renowned historian John Steele Gordon notes from time immemorial, slaves were a major item of commerce. As much as a third of the population of the ancient world was enslaved.
Interesting. So everybody gets reparations because everybody was a slave.
Slavery?
No, idiot. Everybody don't get reparations because everybody was a slave. Everybody wasn't enslaved by the American government. Now, if you want reparations, everybody who was enslaved, they need to go to the people who enslaved them and demand their reparations. Don't try to put it on everybody gets reparations because everybody was a slave. And we're talking about America. None of their slavery contributed to the wealth built here in America. But like I said, these are the talking points. Let's continue. I also want to touch on this person. Pause. Let's go here.
Somebody asked me, do I believe in reparations? And my take on reparations is a bit nuanced. I think that we have to consider some facts, in my opinion, on how I approach reparations. I think that when we ask for reparations, we are looking for the government to pay us on behalf of what we contributed to America being built, Black Americans did. And personally, I don't think that America can afford that, literally.
That's how you know he's a tether. He goes with the same talking points as the folks who don't want us to get reparations. But if America can't afford it, then how can America afford to give billions of dollars away to Ukraine? Billions of dollars away to the Ukraine. Billions of dollars to the Top Hat community. Billions of dollars to illegal aliens. but they can't afford it. We can't afford it. America don't have the money. Oh, they have the Justice Fund, which is literally a bottomless pit of money, whether you know it or not. And the Justice Fund was actually created for situations like reparations for foundational Black Americans. That's where everybody else was paid out of the Justice Fund. But they like us to believe that we just don't have the money. But we got the money to be sending all these different African countries billions of dollars, as well as all these European poor nations as well. But when you talk about foundational Black Americans, all of a sudden, where's the money going to come from? I don't believe the money will ever. No. That's why it's none of your damn business. And you should sit to the side and let us handle our business. Shout out to Miss Denise Hood-tastic Williams in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here, family. Let's continue.
Like, you think about Black people built America to what it has laid the foundation to what it has grew to become, and sacrificed our life and souls for that. You can't pay that back. The second part about that is you can't pay.
You're right. You can't repair that. But that don't stop anybody else. When the Japanese was in those internment camps, some lost their lives. That can be repaired, but guess what? The descendants of those people who were in those internment camps got paid out. So they damn sure tried. Even if they couldn't replace the life, they still paid out because they know it is a grievance. And it is a part of justice to pay your debt to anyone you have aggrieved. When you talk about the top hats, some of them was unalive in the furnace. Some of them were unalived in other ways. You don't hear any of them talking about, you can never replace what you done took from us. You can never replace the loss of life. No. They get billions of dollars because of the fact that they were aggrieved. And nobody say you can never pay that back. They just continue to be paid in the very same way that the so-called Native American continues to be a ward of the state, where they continue to be paid over and over. They didn't say you cannot never replace or pay me for the land that was taken, for the people that was unalive, for the children that was taken. None of that. They took the money and they continue to get money every goddamn fiscal year. Hell, Joe Biden just gave the so-called Native Americans, when he was in office, the largest endowment that they've ever received. You don't hear anybody coming out talking about this money won't replace all that was taken. So that is a stupid talking point. Shout out and shalom to our good brother Jesse Paris in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here. You got a question, Miss D? Go ahead and ask it. I may have an answer. I ain't going to just jump the gun. I may have an answer. Let's let him continue while you ask that question.
Back physically, monetarily, spiritually, you can't afford that bill. The second part about that is if they pay me reparations, I wasn't the one that was picking cotton or that was enslaved or.
But guess what? They're not going to pay you reparations because I'm pretty damn sure you're a tether. If you're not a tether, then you are a bootleg. And I'm pretty sure at some point in time, you identified as something other than black. This is just my this is my guess. I don't want to say hypothetical, but this is my guess. Because I'm getting all kind of tether vibes, and it looks like the family in the chat getting those same vibes. But let's continue.
You know, beat to death or separated from my family. That wasn't me. That was my ancestors. So I'm saying that because I don't know if I would have this.
Yeah, you're definitely not. You're definitely not one of us. Because I've never heard foundational Black Americans say, that wasn't me, it was my ancestors. Unless they were cooning or wasn't a part of foundational Black America. Before we started calling ourselves foundational Black Americans, we were already saying we are our ancestors. Let's be very clear about that. That's how we know you ain't us. You can never be us because we don't speak like that. We don't disconnect ourselves from the people we stand on their shoulders. The people who gave us every opportunity that we have here today. We don't disconnect ourselves from that. We don't disconnect ourselves from them. And as you've seen all goddamn year long, ABK, and shout out to our good brother Black Alpha is in the building. Much love to you and thank you for being here, my good brother. As my brother Black Alpha would say, ABK has been moving each and every way on you Tethers, on you Nabiscos, on anybody who's actually moving against foundational Black Americans. That's the ancestors. So by saying that happened to them and not my ancestors, I'm not my ancestors, that's them. It didn't happen to me, it happened to them. All you doing is showing people exactly who the hell you are. You're either a tether or you a tap dancing coon. I'll let you decide. Matter of fact, no, I won't let you decide. We're going to go with tether because if I let you decide, even though you're a tether, you're going to try to say, yeah, I'm just a tap dancing coon because you want to be associated with foundational Black Americans. And someone put it in the chat, so you know we got to play it. One good time shout out to you when we see these clowns in the building.
Send in the clowns.
So yeah, we know 100% fold, you ain't us. All you got to do is open your ears and let these folks talk, and they will prove to you. If you have any doubts in your mind, just be quiet and let these folks talk, and they will show you. They will make sure you know that they are a tether. They are not a part of this land. They are not a part of the same bloodline that we are part of because we don't speak like this. We don't act like this. We don't run around talking about how the government is going to find a way to pay us. We don't give a damn. They better find a damn way in the very same way that they found a way for all the illegal aliens that they spend billions of dollars on, the very same way that they found billions of dollars to give to Ukraine. That's not our fight, but yet we're giving $1 billion plus over to them for their fight. The same way that we've given billions of dollars to the Top Hat community, the same way we've given billions of dollars to the so-called Native American, but better yet, Putin's Mexicans, the Siberians. Can I get a witness? Because I damn sure know that this dude right here, he is not one of us. Shout out to our good sister Mia Kim in the building. Thank you for your Cashapp donation, sister. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution. As always, my good sister. Let's let this dude continue.
Same type of mentality or reward mentality behind receiving reparations, knowing that I wasn't the one that was a part of the struggle on why we need reparations, if that makes sense. And so my thing is we can build our own economic system. We've done it throughout the years, through all the times, from the Tulsas to the Greenwoods to the Durham, North Carolina, to the Rosewoods to the Seneca.
And what happened to all those neighborhoods, sir? What happened to all those neighborhoods, sir? They were destroyed, correct? They were bombed. They were flooded. They were burnt down. Freeways was put through them. Our cities were leveled to the ground. Why? Because we didn't have those protections that we should have here today. You see, reparations is more than just the dollar amount. It's also the policies that are placed in order to redress the issues that we've been dealing with throughout all of this time, from slavery on out. So an anti-Black freedmen hate crime bill absolutely must be a part of reparations. And the protections for us as a protected class must be a part of reparations. So while you're sitting there saying, yeah, we can rebuild, we can build our own economic economy, and like we've done several times before, yeah, we've done that several times over. And that's not the issue. We don't have a problem building. We don't have a problem continuing to build. You think we're sitting around waiting on the government? No. No. However, even in those times where we were building to the magnitude in which you're speaking about, there was no protection for the people who built the country. So if that's what you want to do, because, they played that identity politics for so long, we played identity politics in a way where they tried to make us feel like asking for anything is wrong. No, hell no, not when we see god dang Nabiscos being given land, given things that came from our freaking labor. Not when we see illegal aliens, people who shouldn't even be here, being given walking around change, free housing, food stamps, clothing, policy made for them in order to protect them from ICE. They're not even supposed to be here. That's what we're supposed to receive as citizens of this country. And as somebody who 9 times out of 10 ain't a part of this lineage, yeah, you wouldn't understand that. And you wouldn't understand the anger within that whole situation. You're just running your mouth. And it looks like, is that family right there in the background? You see that? Is that a Masonic symbol? Enough said. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. A hell of a lot of sense. Continue.
Villages to the all the places that we have built, even though they burnt them down, we have built, and we can continue to do the same thing. And today, I don't think it's no different. You got schooling, you got the School of Hard Knocks. We can go out here and build the money that we want to build to live the way that we want to live. And I don't personally think that nobody should 100% rely on their government. I mean, I don't think that that's something that continuously happens year over year over year, or to family to family to family, depending on the industry for sure, agriculture and all that stuff. Yeah, but that's just my personal take on it. So I'm not going to sit around and wait for the government to think that they're going to pay me for whatever my ancestors did way back when. I'm just going to pay homage to them by being successful, going out here and creating capital, giving opportunities to Black Americans through my fund, through my investment firm, giving opportunities, funding businesses, etc. And that's my reparation.
And that's your reparations. You're a damn tether. You a damn tether. And let me say this real quick. You're not paying homage to them if you're not fighting for the justice for them. The justice that they fought for. It's the justice that we fight for. Putting that to the side is not paying homage. That's called being a straight up bitch. Let me say that with a capital B. A straight up biatch. It's a disrespect to the ancestors if you sit there and say, I'm not going to fight the fight that they've been fighting, that they didn't get to see. No, my ancestors couldn't see the justice. Guess what? I'm going to see that justice for my ancestors because my ancestors deserve that damn justice. Shout out to our brother Snatch Adams in the building. Thank you for your super sticker. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. When we get the restitution, I'm getting really petty with mine. Petty LaBelle, Tom Petty, Petty Rubble, Foundational Petty American. Salute B1. Hey, I'm with you 100% right there, family. We're going to get deeply petty on that. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? Just because you brought it up and, you know, we can get real petty with it. We should get petty with it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. Shall we, family? One good time. One good time. This goes out to the fam that's going to get petty on it. Oh, family, trust me when I say I'm going to be one of the pettiest mother lovers you've ever seen once that check is cut. Right off the back. Right off the back. I'm going to get with a bunch of my brothers out here. I'm called Black Alpha. I'm like, hey, brother, you want to put your check together so we can create a goddamn, I don't know, a media system, something like that? Yeah, that's what they're really afraid of. Us getting that check, putting our money together and actually being protected as a class this time, and then going to build and outbuild anything that they have here. That's what they're really afraid of, family. Otherwise, they would have already gave us the money. If they thought we was going to purchase goddamn Dubs and spinner wheels and all this other stuff, buy Cadillacs and all this other crap, Jordans and all that, they would have been gave us the money. They would have been gave us the money because they know that that money would be coming right back to them. They're fearful. Once again, like I said, this all ties back to them being fearful of what it would mean after we got reparations, what it would mean after we were made a protective class, what it would mean after we got together and decided what we were going to do. Let's be very clear about this. That's what this is all about. That's why they're trying to make everybody on the same foot by saying there was slavery everywhere. By saying slavery is everywhere or was everywhere. Everybody was a part of slavery. Everybody owned slaves at one point in time. They're trying to minimize our experience here. Our slavery was hereditary, racialized, and permanent. It was enforced by the law, the courts, and the U.S. Constitution that called us what? 3/5 of a person. All for the vote to be given to the Nabisco who was owning the land. Children inherited slave status at birth. Nowhere else was this happening. Nowhere else. There was no recognized path to citizenship or legal personhood. The only way that you can get freedom is if your master felt like, you know what, let me go ahead and, you've been a good Negro, let me go ahead and sign these freedom papers for you. And even then, you can get kidnapped and taken and sold back into slavery. And the other way is to fight your way out of slavery, in which we did. Also, nowhere else did slavery create a permanent racial underclass. Let me say that again for the slow yellow bus riding, helmet wearing children in the back. No other slavery created a permanent racial underclass. That was only here in America. And let's be more specific, in the United States of America at that. All that nonsense about slavery being everywhere is trying to minimize those points. Also, let me show you how stupid that argument is. Shout out to our good sister Natural Torah in the building. Much love to you, as well as our sister Lotus Tay in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. This is how stupid all of these talking points are. If you say that slavery was everywhere, so you shouldn't be responsible for the redress, then why was Japanese people redressed? There was internment camps everywhere. People have been getting put in internment camps for centuries. So why were we responsible to pay their grievance off? Why were the so-called Native Americans redressed? Oh, people have been taking land for centuries, right? All of a sudden, it's upon us to redress their grievance? Oh, why are we still paying the top hat community any type of reparations? People was put in internment camps all over the world, correct? Why did we pay the Chinese a form of reparations? Foundational Black Americans built most of the goddamn railroad system before they even got here. They just expanded the railroad system. So why in the hell are we paying when, god dang it, we're the ones who actually built the railroad system? All because they felt like they were being what? Taken advantage of. If you think that you can apply that idiot rhetoric to slavery, you would have to apply that idiot rhetoric to everybody that has been paid out and paid reparations in order to redress whatever grievance they went through. But you never did. Because it would be a stupid argument with those things, just like it's a stupid argument when you talk about reparations. How stupid? Very damn stupid. Shout out to our sister, the Lotus Tay. She says they want us to continue being the sacrificial lamb. Yeah, those days are over with. And when I say over with, I mean all the way gone. There is no turning back around. There is no button that you can press that's making foundational Black Americans hit a 180 and say, oh, we must have been going the wrong way. Let's just, walk on back over here to these plantations and we're going to sit down and be good little Negroes and Negresses. And, we're just going to let America be America. No, there is nothing you can do, nothing you can say. There's no button you can press to make that happen. This is full speed ahead. And we ain't here to listen to none of your idiocracy. We're not here to listen or participate in none of your shenanigans or chicanery. If you want to act stupid, you can be stupid. But guess what? Foundational Black Americans have always been intelligent people. And we're going to call out your stupidity. We're going to call out your ignorance so that the rest of the world can see how stupid you are and how ignorant you are and how you paired them together because you're so in love with being an anti-Black bigot. An anti-foundational Black American bigot, to be more specific. I want to give a shout out to our good brother Tariq, because Tariq had a conversation with a tether once again. And the tether said something once again. I'm always grabbing those clips. Every time I hear a tether tell Tariq something, I bring it to the family because it's always showing you the mind of the tether. The last time I brought a tether to the family and what they said, the tether said the quiet part out loud. They have a fear of being left behind. While we're delineating, the United States is also delineating and they don't know what to do. They have a fear of where they're going to be left. Yeah, you let them talk long enough and they give you the real gifs. So this next tether that I'm about to play, and like I said, shout out to Tariq, this tether right off the bat, kissing ass of the Nabisco. He then turns around to say, oh, we need to leave the Nabisco alone. And that's why the Nabisco ain't helping Africans, because Black Americans here are stopping too hard. Y'all just don't know how to play the game type nonsense. Let's get into it, family. Let's go here.
OG, what's your name? OG?
Yeah, my name OG Agara. I'm a FBA.
Nigga,
well,
don't stop. Nigga, you mean fly, bushmeat, and insects? What is she talking about?
No. My father is from here and my mother is from Nigeria.
I believe none of
Brother said, are you talking about flies, bush meat? I can't do it. I'm telling you, Tariq be driving me crazy with these goddamn terms. I tell you, he be going off. Shout out to the brother. Let's let him continue.
Nigga,
well,
don't stop. Nigga, you mean fly, bushmeat, and insects? What is she talking about?
No. My father is from here and my mother is from Nigeria.
I believe none of that. That's your picture?
Yes.
Dude, if you don't stop.
No, I had a quick question.
No, bro, don't lie. Come on, man. Bro, and it's okay, brother. Your eyes is jaundiced yellow. Your brother.
No, I'm not here to come and preach hate.
I'm nobody hate, but don't come in lying, brother. We see you. We can see you, right?
That's neither here or there.
It's here or there. Don't come in talking about you about lineage, nigga, and you look like you just auditioned for Shaka Zulu Part 2, and that's okay. But don't lie. We respect you. You are our brother, but don't do that. No.
I had a question, Tariq.
God damn. I just don't like you coming in lying. Like, I'm FBA, nigga. No, you're not. Don't do that. Now, what's on your mind, brother? Let's come on now. Shit.
I want to know, why can't FBAs just be calm with white people?
Be calm?
Why can't FBAs just be calm with white people? Why are you being mean to the Nabisco? Why you mean old foundational Black Americans so mean to the white man? In Africa, we love the white man. We put the white man over our shoulders and we say, we love you, Nabisco. But in America, y'all are so mean. You hold them accountable. That's all I hear is bushmeat babble. Shout out to Mr. Know-It-All. Thank you for your super chat, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution as always. Can I get a witness? And the church says, amen. Abso-damn-lutely. And also a B1 salute and shout out and shalom to our good sister C. Terry. Thank you for being here and thank you for your super chat, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold. And I appreciate your contribution as well, my good sister. Imagine how many more patents we would have without tactics like meritocracy, manumissus, man. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I have tongue tied here. Hence, we created, built everything. Exactly, my good sister. Thank you for your contribution. Family, let's get back over here to the Bush Babbler.
Yeah, just, every other culture comes here to this country and we get along and understand them. That way we can get along. But Black Americans, you all stand up and fight them and call them all type of races. And it's just, why not be cool with them?
Family, he wants to know why everybody else could come to America and they could be cool with the Nabisco, but foundational Black Americans, the people who built the country, the people who the Nabiscos stole their labor in order to become one of the most powerful, actually the most powerful nations in the world, in order to go around and colonize the rest of you guys. He want to know why we are always mean to them. We always want to fight them. Maybe because we got that dog in us. Maybe because that's what we do. That's a part of our culture, is fighting. We don't run away from the Nabisco just to get under the Nabisco, just to say, oh, Nabisco, I love you so much. Can I sit on your lap and let you pet on my head? No. We're the people that made it possible for people like you to come over here and get under the Nabisco. They didn't want you here. They had laws blocking people like yourself from coming here. But yet you want to know why we're so mean? Our meanness brought civil rights through. Our meanness opened the door for people such as yourself. Us being mean is getting us to the forefront of the reparations conversation. Well, not getting, put us at the forefront of the reparations conversation because we were so mean, we wasn't about to let anybody sabotage us yet again. But let's let them go.
Are you over here? Are you in the U.S., sir?
Yes.
OJ, how do you think you were able to come here to the U.S.?
My father came here and he worked hard to get us.
Work hard. God damn.
He worked hard, ladies and gentlemen. His father came over here and worked hard. Love Tariq caught that out. Caught that real quick. Let's continue.
Okay. Your father, it was your father that came over and worked hard.
Yes.
What year did your father get here, OJ?
97.
Okay, he's relatively new. He's new. He got here new. Family, before the 1960s and 70s, the white people didn't want y'all over here. They didn't want Africans over here.
Tariq, we're here though. We're here and we're blending in. You can't stop us. So why not just get along with us?
Hold on.
Maybe we can come together and collaborate.
Okay, what you mean we can't stop you?
We look like you.
Nigga, please. No, you don't.
Hey, shout out to Tariq because that's going to be my next drop. But since he said I got to do this too.
Nigga, please.
So shout out to Tariq because that is my next nigga, please. Oh, mamas. Let's get it back.
We look like you.
Nigga, please. No, you don't. Dude, I'm looking at you. I don't look like that. I'm not even different, sir. I'm not different, sir. We look different, sir. Brother, no disrespect. Y'all don't blend in like you think you do. You understand? I'm not saying that to be mean. You don't blend in like you think you do, sir. I see you with that hairline. Yeah, I know you're not from here. We know you're not from here, and that's okay. That's okay.
And just to our brother Tariq's point, yesterday I decided to go to American Deli. I wanted a Philly cheesesteak. So I was like, let me go to American Deli. I'm going to give me a Philly cheesesteak. And my neighbor, one of my neighbors, his name is Dan. He's from Ghana. And while I was at American Deli, I saw somebody who looked just dead on my homie Dan. And so I asked him, I said, hey, you from Nigeria, ain't you? And he was like, no, I'm from Ghana. And that's snapped me back in. Oh, yeah, Dan's from Ghana as well. I said, you look like a friend of mine. He's also from Ghana. And he said, is his name Dan? I said, yes, his name is Dan. How'd you know? He said, oh, because that's my cousin. Family, when I say we can call these people out just by looking at them, and he says, and our brother Tariq says that you don't blend in too well, this brother, out of everybody else in American Deli, he was the stand-out person in the whole damn place. Everybody knew he was an American. Everybody knew he was African. So yeah, you don't blend in and you don't mix in very well, especially with the chrome domes, especially with the goddamn hairlines. Some of you got goddamn Wayne and Moon hairlines. Others got full-blown receding hairlines like the dude in this picture. And you're only 22. Yeah, you know, not so much. You don't blend in so much. But let's let them continue.
Do you understand?
Yeah, but I just don't understand the hate. I mean,
ain't no hate. Just because we're different don't mean there's hate. What?
No, meaning the white men, like, what do they literally go to work? They take care of their family. They don't even talk to you.
Don't care. Okay, I know you want to put the cape on for white people. Here's the thing. This is what makes us different, OJ. This is what makes us different. You see how you ask white people, leave the white people alone. Yeah, they're good people. All that white ass kissing you're doing, sir, that's why y'all don't have nothing in your homeland. That's why you had to leave. All that white worship, and they're the ones that decimated your damn homeland, sir. Why do you think you had to leave your homeland?
Yeah, but then they sent missionaries.
Who, these missionaries are white, sir?
Yes, and they sent the Red Cross. They sent people, they apologized for their mistakes, for their colonialism.
They apologized for the colonialism?
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys cannot get over slavery. It happened 400 years ago.
Yeah, you know.
Family, can anybody here tell me when the Nabisco went over to Africa and apologized to the Africans for colonizing them? I swear on my life, I've never even heard of such situations. Them folks don't like to take accountability about what they did here, but yet they can go overseas and just apologize for colonizing them. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm the person that's been walking around with my fingers in my ears and my eyes closed. Not never? Okay, I thought so. Because god dang it, I ain't never heard it, ain't never seen it. These people come up with delusions of grandeur in their own heads in order to kind of compensate for them being fleers and being weak people who don't want to fight the good fight to protect their country and their customs and culture. So they got to make up this goddamn situation and scenario where the Nabisco came to Africa and apologized for colonizing Africa. If that's the case, why do you still have white South Africans till this day fighting with the people who are supposed to be in South Africa? Why are they lying saying there was no Africans in South Africa when they got there? That doesn't sound like apologies. That's sounding like doubling down on colonization. But go ahead, Babatunde.
Get over it.
No. We ain't getting over it.
Like, get over it, though. You come here.
Slow down. See, that's the difference between you and us. See, y'all made deals with these white supremacists, sir. Y'all tribal groups over there, all of you sat over there and made deals. Y'all signed treaties with these people, and you legitimized white supremacy, and it turned around and bit you in your little ashy asses. We, sir, never made deals or treaties with these people. We've never legitimized white supremacy on paper, and it's always been up, and it's always been about resistance with us, sir. And that's the thing that's burning your ass, because we ain't make no deals, and we ain't scared of them, and we step to them and make sure they don't have us down bad like you guys in your homeland, sir. And that's the problem you have.
Okay, I have a question.
What's your question?
Where's your money is in a major bank?
And?
You are paid for too.
Paid for how? What are you talking about?
If you say something wrong, they take your money.
Who's gonna take my money?
They can freeze your bank.
If you do a crime. Yeah, sir, you're used to them corrupt ass governments, sir. It don't work like that over here. If you do a crime, yeah, they can take your money. Yeah, it ain't like where you fled from, where you put your money in the bank and then they go buy bushmeat with it and you never see your money again. All of that corruption, it ain't, no, sir. We don't have that over here, sir. Yeah, you.
And he's absolutely correct about that. If you really think about it, your freedom of speech protects, or is supposed to protect, your money. It's supposed to protect anything, really, to be honest with you. So by saying something such as, I don't know, I don't like Nabiscos, they can't come and take my damn bank account because I don't like Nabiscos. Why? Because that would be against the First Amendment. It would be against the Constitution. And guess what? You will have action at a lawsuit. In the very same way that Kanye is now suing god dang Chase Manhattan for shutting down his account. I don't know if he'll win that, but let's be honest. Shout out to our brother, Mr. Know-It-All. Once again, thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. Shout out to FBAs in California all dang day. Cali, baby. We see y'all. Much love to you. Much love to you. Thank you for that comment, family. Let's let them continue.
Trying to project your own corruption onto us. It doesn't work like that.
The white man he's better today than the ones in the 50s.
That is a non sequitur. That is a point that can never be proven. You can't say that the white man is better today than he was 50 years ago, when those people who lived 50 years ago, a lot of them are still alive. And a lot of them are passing down their thought processes to their children. And that's why we're in the predicament that we're in right now. Where'd you think MAGA came from? You think MAGA just popped up out of nowhere? No, MAGA is a bunch of people who was alive during Jim Crow, passing down their racist rhetoric to their children and their children's children, and their children and children's children are coming out into the world preaching that same rhetoric that their parents told them, that their grandparents told them. And you can have people who grew up with black folks all damn day. The second you start talking about reparations, and this is why I've done so many broadcasts on this very network and this very channel. God dang it, I did many broadcasts. I did 3 broadcasts talking about reparations being the line in the sand. I did that not because it sounded cool. It's because reparation is the line in the sand. And anybody who said they're not racist, you just ask them, what's your position on reparations? Anybody who says that, I'm not racist, but you can god dang tell that they ain't going to get along with you after you say reparations. I showed a clip earlier today, earlier in this broadcast, where they said that race relations went down after people start talking about reparations and talking about the oppression of the white Americans versus the black Americans. So, as I said once before, these folks are only comfortable when you're not speaking about what's owed to you, when you're not telling them their history, when you're not putting the spotlight on the evil and atrocities and the barbarism that these people participated in order to oppress your people. That's when they'll get along with you. The second you bring up reparations, the second you bring up all the towns that was destroyed because of white barbarism and people being jealous that the black folk was doing better than they were doing, all the people that was lynched because they were business owners and they was making more money than the poor, dirty ass Nabisco. Oh, they get upset about talking about that. So when I was doing those reparations as a line in the sand series, it was for that purpose and that purpose alone, to make sure everybody understood you can grow up with people. You could have went to school with people. You could have dated people. You could have had babies with people. And the second you start talking about reparations, you will see where they really damn stand. That's what it's really about. Shout out to our sister Angelic in the building. Much love to you, my good sister. Thank you for being here. Absolutely, Miss Denise. Haters mentality. A hater's mentality. That's what this African got right here, right now. Let's let them continue.
What are you talking about? Better today. What are you talking about?
The white man doesn't have you in chains.
Okay, and?
You are not a slave.
And?
Ignore them and go to work.
We already working. We're already doing what we need to do. That's why we're global icons. That's why
no one likes FBAs. Why? Because you guys complain. You
mean nobody likes us, so y'all emulating us. What part of Nigeria did you flee from?
Lagos.
Y'all niggas are over there walking around looking like how we did back in 2003. All right? Y'all dressed like us 20 years ago. Y'all running around with apple bottom jeans and damn Vocal tank tops and G-Unit shirts, sir.
Why Tariq had to bring out the G-Unit shirts? The G-Unit tank tops. They're over there acting like they're G-Unit. Shout out to Tariq. I'm telling y'all, when this dude get the roasted, this shit gets funnier and funnier. I cannot lie. Shout out to our good brother Antithesis for your Cash App donation, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution. Yeah, family, the G-Unit shirt, that right there took me back. Oh, Jesus Christ, that is hilarious. Shout out to Renaissance Woman in the building. Much love to you, my sister. Thank you for being here as well. Let's continue.
That's neither here or there.
Here or there, because y'all emulate us all the damn time, all around the world. Y'all emulate foundational black.
Yeah, okay, we want to.
Nobody likes us, but all y'all do is emulate us. The hell you mean? All you do is emulate foundational black Americans.
We're the new you. Can't you see? We're the new you. We're your replacement. No.
Let me say this to all the Africans that believes. Oh, no, you didn't. He said Lloyd stinks. Yes, Lloyd stinks. That shit right there. Go. Oh, man. Let me say this to all the Africans out there that believes that they're coming in and they're replacing us. They're learning how we get down and they're emulating us and replacing us. You can't replace something that you are not. An apple cannot replace an orange. It can only replace another apple. And pineapple is not going to be able to replace a melon. You can only replace it with another pineapple. So let me explain this to all the tethers in the back of the room, in the back of the classrooms. I want you to pick your pencils up. Matter of fact, I got to give a shout out to our brother Afro Elite. I want y'all to pick up your red pens because it's time to get on this red pen energy. You can't replace us because you haven't done none of the stuff that we've done here in America back in your own damn homelands. You ain't got over 50,000 patents and counting. And I say in counting because I'm pretty sure it's way more than that. Or at least we should have had way more than that. You ain't even got working toilets throughout the continent of Africa. Let me say that again, since you guys love to say Africa is not a country, it's a continent. You don't have working toilets throughout the continent of Africa. You haven't created anything that benefits the world like we have. Africans in Africa has been stagnant for the past century, all because y'all wanted to make treaties with a Nabisco. Yeah, you could talk to me about the castles in Mali, made of mud and clay and all this other stuff, the architecture, all that good stuff. Okay, cool. You could talk to me about Egypt, and you could talk to me about old school Ethiopia, and I'm not talking about this new school Ethiopia. I'm talking about back in the day Ethiopia. You can talk to me about all these ancients, but you're not telling me about anything you've done in the past 100 years. Equate that to what foundational Black Americans have done in the past 100 years. And I guarantee you, there's no way you could replace us because you have no value here. People don't like to pretend. People want the real McCoy. Tyrese said it best. You just a baby boy. You not the real McCoy. FBA run these streets. And that's because you guys could never, no matter how much you dress like us, no matter how much you try to talk like us, no matter how much you try to walk like us, no matter what you do, you can never be us. We have such an anointing on our people. We have such an anointing on our culture, our lineage, our heritage. And this past year should have shown you. It should have shown you how anointed we are. Haven't you noticed that everybody that tries to go against foundational Black Americans have been getting the FBA karma? That ABK was punching people left and punching people right, burning down plantations. You don't see all this stuff happening all in one damn year. Just 1 year. So no, you can never be us because you don't have that divine favor. Shout out to our sister, C. Terry. She said, she put it up right when I was saying it. You don't have that divine favor that we have. You don't have that Majora spirit that we have. People ain't going to want to be around you. Why? Because you're just a bootlick. See, you like to talk about, not just you, but all these other goddamn immigrants love to talk about how people don't like us. Nobody likes you. You're we are the villain of everybody's story. Guess what? We don't give a damn and never have. And if we gave a damn about what people had to say, we would still be in slavery because people would say, we ain't never going to get out of slavery. We would still be fighting in Jim Crow because people would always say, oh, these white folks ain't never going to change. There ain't going to be no civil rights. And what everything people said against us, we have proven them incorrect. So whether people like us or not, that means nothing to us. The Nabisco don't like you. Here's the difference between me and you. He don't like either one of us, but he respects foundational Black Americans. That's the one thing that Nabisco got to do. Why? Because power respects power. Power don't respect weakness. And you mother lovers have been the weakness of all Black people globally. I don't want to say the weakest, but at the same time, I would have to say you the weakest link. Can I get an amen on that one? Let's continue.
One wants to be you now. They want to be
Sir,
us.
you're the new deportees. Why you think they're getting your ass out of here? Huh? How you the new us and they're deporting y'all up out of here and putting travel bans on your ass? We ain't got travel bans. We ain't being deported. How you the new us? You ain't muted.
The white man would rather eat lunch with me than you.
They're pounding your ass up in ice bands and packing you up out of here. Where are the white people to stop them?
You muted my mic.
You ain't muted.
You listen. We are one. Okay. I don't have an issue with you, but you talk about my people. You say we eat bush meat.
No. Where are the white people who standing up for you being deported? Where are they? You're not muted.
There are plenty of white people.
Where are they standing up for you getting deported?
Democracy now.
Family, Tariq asked this man, where are the white people fighting against your deportation? This man just quite literally said, democracy now. He brought up a Democrat news publication in order to make his point. Family, democracy now. Family, I pray that I don't ever get no type of delusional like this. This is just all kind of sick delusions. This delusion of grandeur is totally up there. I didn't know it can get up there, but it's up there. This is the top of the delusional field. This guy, he must put on a delusional hat every morning. Let's continue.
Don't give a shit about you. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't stopping nothing.
Amy Goodman, she's a good woman.
They're just reporting on your ass.
Amy Goodman is a good woman. This man don't know Amy Goodman, never met Amy Goodman, none of that. But he just, Amy Goodman is a good woman. She is a good white woman. And if I come to America, I will want to be under Amy Goodman. If Amy Goodman came to Africa and rubbed us on top of our heads, we would make her the queen of Africa, the continent, and not just Ghana, and not just Mali. We would make her the queen of all of Africa. And we will put her on our shoulders and we will sing the circle of life. They be lifting that damn white woman up like Simba and the Lion King. It's the circle of life. Where this dude right here looking like Rafiki. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Oh, shout out to us. The Kenneth Cole treatment. Exactly. Shout out to our sister Deloda. She said it's giving Whack Panther. There you go. There you go. It's giving Never Coming to America. That's what it's giving. Oh, you ain't right for this. It's a circle of polite. You ain't right for this. Look, straight up Rafiki, right? That's what it's giving right now. This dude, he's looking for a lion to put up in the sky. I guarantee you. Let's let him continue.
It's getting deported. All they're doing is reporting on it. They ain't stopping shit. Ain't no white people helping you. Why you doing? Well, you think all this ass kissing you doing is gonna stop the ICE trucks? The white people are good. Listen. Are there any white people listening? I hate these FBA niggas. I love white people. I love every white person. I love Dolly Parton, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. Marky and the Funky Bunch. You just naming random white people, dude. They're not going to save you. You're not the new us.
We are the new you.
No, you're not, sir.
We are the new you, and you guys look at us. You guys got math from us. You guys got algebra from us.
How?
We were the first to have algebra and math.
Sir, yeah. We were over there then, so yeah, we took it over here. You didn't give us nothing. You can't even use 2 + 2 to build a toilet over there, sir. So yeah, you don't know that much about algebra. If you knew algebra and all of this geometry and math,
that's because the FBS.
Why aren't you over there building roads, sir?
Family, I gotta play this.
Damn!
Tariq said you can't even put 2 + 2 together and make a toilet. Where's the lie? Where is the goddamn lie? That right there just took me out. Right now, this tether don't understand what's happening. So let me give him a visual presence, a visual help, a visual aid so that he can see what is actually happening in this movie. That's what's happening right now. Tariq is beating him over the head with a bamboo stick that he probably got from EJ. I'm telling you right now, these folks are straight up delusional. Let's let them continue.
Why you got dirt roads and you shitting on sidewalks if you got all this math and algebra? Huh? Come on, tell me about the math and algebra.
Because the FBAs here cannot calm down enough for the white man to give us the things we need. If you be
family, I want you to understand what this man is saying. He is now blaming us for the Nabisco not doing things in Africa, in their country for them, because we're too rowdy. So he's blaming us because his country is a shithole. He's blaming us because his country is corrupt. He's blaming us when, god dang it, the Nabisco don't even blame us for the problems over in Africa. Oh, Jesus. This is how delusional these people are.
Why you got dirt roads and you shitting on sidewalks if you got all this math and algebra? Huh? Come on, tell me about the math and algebra.
Because the FBAs here cannot calm down enough for the white man to give us the things we need. If you be cool and calm, they will help us.
Family, do y'all hear this, Tether? Y'all want to know the delineation, why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen? This right here is why delineation is so important. What are we gonna build with this? Family, listen to this.
It's not. It's either that's neither here or there.
Are we going to deal with this?
All you have to do is calm down and just go to work. Calm down your youth and just do the right thing. You ask for reparations. Why would you get that when you don't even work hard enough to get it?
You tell.
Do you hear the logic of these tethers? Why would you get reparations when you do not work hard enough to get it? Number one, reparations is a debt owed for past atrocities done over to us. We already did the work. The work has already been long done. Because if we didn't do the work, your little let me rephrase that. Let me not be so profane. Let me go back to being profound. You, sir, your alien ET phone home head and your wagging finger wouldn't be over here if we didn't do the work, because you wouldn't have tried to come over or, leave your country, flee from your country to come to another country that wasn't already built the hell up. We already did all of the work. And to say we didn't is intellectually dishonest and intellectually lazy. Who did the work if we didn't do the work? It wasn't you. It damn sure wasn't you. And it damn sure wasn't the Nabisco when the Nabisco was over here eating each other because they couldn't get things popping. They couldn't even grow food. So who did the work? If not us. And who's continuing to do the work? If not us. You're saying what we're doing is mean, but we're actually continuing the work. So while you're saying you don't work hard enough, you're not looking at what we're doing as work. You're looking at it as complaining. And so now you think that, we're just complaining when we're doing the work. We're holding these people accountable. We're making sure that they know we're not forgetting about this debt. Y'all might got some bootlicks and some tap dancing little tethers over there that make y'all think that at some point we'll forget about the debt. Guess what? They get their ass kicked right up out of this door too. Everybody catching fades when it comes down to this. And we're the ones that's throwing the hands. But in your eyes, we're being too mean. In your eyes, we're being too rowdy. We're too aggressive. Everybody else come here and they're cool. You know why? Because they didn't have to do no damn work. They came to a place where all the damn work was already done. And that's why you, sir, can call us, the people who are doing the work, mean to the Nabiscos. Because instead of doing the work in your own damn homeland, you just ran over here to be up under them. But let's continue. Ain't too much more we're going to play of this, but still, there's a part that I want to catch on to before we move on to the next part here, family.
You talking about a dude where y'all ain't got working electricity in many parts of your homeland.
Because you guys can't calm down.
So it's our fault that y'all ain't got electricity in your homeland?
Yes.
How?
Because the president won't do anything for us because he looks at us like young niggas here.
Your president? So you're blaming your failure in your own homeland on us?
Yes.
Who are these tethers? What's wrong with these tethers? Are they on some goosey crack? What are they on? Let me get the black receipt in. What are these tethers talking about? The black receipt. What's going on with this man? The black receipt?
Man, I don't know if he done ate some of that bush meat that you done got caught in.
No, I don't even eat bush meat.
Oh, you don't eat bush meat? Look, I don't know if you done suck too much white man dick or you done got on the bushy train to come over here and you ain't trying to get deported. But look, it's time to go, buddy. I don't know what they done told you, what type of dreams they done told you, but you got to go. You are not to do us. Look, it's been plenty of people who've been trying to replace us from the white adjacent.
You're being replaced now.
No,
we watch you, we learn you. We see everything you do and we be you. So how could we not? We watch you.
You can copy us. Look, I understand y'all over there learning all the O2 moves because y'all on some G-Unit shit right now. Y'all 20 years behind. It's okay.
Right.
The transmission hasn't made it there properly because y'all ain't got enough antennas to get, good video service. But y'all can't replace us because we have that majority spirit where we always change the game. That's why everybody's falling in line with delineation. You see next year, white folks are delineated. They over here fighting right now on Twitter over who's white, because white folks in America don't want Jewish people to be white. But Elon said they're peak white. So unfortunately, you got to deal with delineation. It'd be best for you to go back home and fix your homeland, because I know
I look like you, so it doesn't matter. If they round me up, they're gonna round you up too.
No, they're not, sir. Y'all been wanting us to get rounded up for the longest. They ain't rounding us up. And if you're the new us, name the Nigerian Beyonce.
Crickets.
And please don't say Thames.
No. What's the OJ? What's the Nigerian Beyonce? What's the Nigerian Luther? What's the Nigerian Prince?
That's neither here or there.
Oh, it is. No. Because if you're the new us, you better show some of our icons. Who do you got who's comparable to foundational Black American icons?
Rima.
Who?
Rima.
FBA is Rima.
Family, I gotta ask that same question. Family, somebody please tell me if you know who the hell is Rima? Who in the hell is Rima? Have you ever heard of a Rima? Have you ever, has anybody told you about a Rima? Have you ever seen a Rima album? I don't know what the hell a Rima is. It sounds like the name of a donkey. It sounds like the name of a llama. It sounds like the name of some bushmeat that they chase down in the goddamn forest somewhere. And when they get it, they say Rima. Has anybody ever heard of a Rima? Do you know what a Rima is? If so, please enlighten me and the family. That's all I would like. Please enlighten me and the family. I'm open to learning, family. I'm not one of those type of people that think I know it all, because I know I don't. You know, I know what I know, and what I don't know, I don't talk about. So when we get into these situations and someone brings up the name Rima, I gotta now ask it, like, okay, who is Rima? And please enlighten me. That's your African Beyonce? Rima. Is that the one chick that I played on this goddamn very network, on this very channel, who could not sing worth a damn? And they was wrapping her up in like toilet paper in the woods? Is that Rima? I'm just asking. I would love to be enlightened by anybody. Where are the Pan-Africans when you need them? Pan-Africans, scam Africans, come out of the woodworks. Please explain to me, who the hell is Rima? My ears are wide open. This is the time for you guys to be able to come to a foundational Black American and teach me about something from Africa. Teach me about this Rima. Who is this Rima? A B1 salute to our sister Rosemary Gabbard in the building. Much love to you, my good sister. Thank you for being here once again. We can ask Siri. I don't think Siri would know. Matter of fact, let's do that. Siri, who is Rima?
Here's some info about
Rama?
Rama.
Rama. Okay. It says here, known professionally as Rama, is a Nigerian singer / songwriter and rapper. I don't know a damn thing about him. Ain't heard of him. Ain't seen him on no TV. Ain't seen him anywhere. And really, since we ain't seen him anywhere, you got to think about that, family, because if you've been paying attention, they've been pushing Afro beats over here hard. They've been pushing African artists over here hard. They've been pushing reggaeton artists over here hard, pause. And it always flops. I ain't never heard anybody bring no Rima to the forefront. Natural, you ain't right. Bush me struggler, basically. Shout out to my sister. Oh, that one right there. That deserves, hold on. I got to give you this. I got to give you this right here. Because that's explosive. Bush meat smuggler, basically. Oh, that smuggler right there. That is a cold beans. Cold beans. That's natural, god dang it. Shout out to my sister. Let's continue.
Who the hell is Rima? FBA family, have y'all ever heard of Rima? Who the hell is Rima?
You hate us, but you dress like us and eat like us.
Who?
You.
Dress like who?
What you wear?
Family. Someone tell me, do we dress like Africans? Have y'all dressed like Africans before? I've never dressed like an African. Even when we was running around here in the Black empowerment movement wearing dashikis and things like that, I've never been a part of that. I had a healthy respect for Africa, but I never wanted to put on a dashiki and go out there and pretend to be African. That has never not once crossed my mind. But that's interesting that he said that. He tried to switch the whole goddamn gang on us, didn't he? Instead of them wearing and dressing like us and acting like us from 10 years ago, 20 years ago. When did Get Rich or Die Try and drop? It was 2004, so 22 years? Almost 22 years? You dressing like us and talking like us from 22 years ago? God. And y'all trying to say we're dressing like y'all 2005? Okay, so it's been a full 20 years. 20 damn years. Jesus Christ. Rafiki is over here reaching. He is, I don't know what kind of elastic powers he have, if he's a part of the Fantastic Four or what, but that was absolutely a goddamn reach. Lotus said it to the 99 and 2000s. He said it was. Oh man, they were trying to dress like Juvenile and them. That's what you're saying. Girl, you look good. Won't you give me that bush meat? Oh no. Oh, shout out to One Up. Thank you for being here and thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold. And I appreciate your contribution as always, family. I've heard of Relay Ma. Relay Ma? What is it? What's going on? Oh, okay. Shout out to the other super chat. Remy Ma. Okay. All right. Yeah. Everybody, I heard of Remy Ma. You know what I'm saying? Partially because she's standing next to that fat blubber slob named Fat Joe, the fattest of the Joes. But much love to you, family. Thank you for your contribution, family. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution as always. Look, family, and that's where I wanted to end that. These folks are so delusional, so filled with hate for us that they can't operate in the realms of reality. That's what we're seeing here. People operating outside of the realms of reality. And we're the only people that's really operating in the realms of reality. The Nabisco is operating outside the realms of reality. The goddamn Tether is operating outside of the realms of reality. It's everybody but foundational Black Americans operating outside of the realms of reality for some damn reason. Everybody's living in the psychoses. It's a psychosis. Everyone's living in a psychosis except us. Back that passport up. Shout out to Kira Clark in the building. Shout out to the good sister. Shalom to you. Back that passport up. Oh man. Let's after you leave your homeland, stop and what? Drop that flag like it's hot. And then they get over here and wave their flag like it's on fire. Let's keep it going. Before we end off, I want to play some of the family's response to all the nonsense rhetoric that everybody owns slaves and everybody at some point was enslaved and all this other nonsense. In the very same way that I explained it, I want to get some of the family to come up and do what they do. So let's go here, family.
I usually don't make videos like this, but I genuinely hate this argument. And you all can dislike me for what I'm going to say. And you can choose to unfollow me, but I don't care.
And you shouldn't, my good brother. You absolutely shouldn't care. Let me go ahead and read this comment here. Every race has owned slaves. Once again, back to the same talking point and the same rhetoric. Every race has been enslaved. In terms of history, no one's hands are clean, no matter your race. Well, that's incorrect because foundational Black Americans have the cleanest hands out of anybody on this planet. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Foundational Black Americans have the cleanest hands out of anybody on this planet, and that's why everybody look to us for our moral guidance. When something is happening to people somewhere across the world, they're screaming, "Where are FBAs? Please come help us, Beyonce. Where is Oprah? Anybody, everybody, please come help us." They do that because they don't have clean hands. In the very same way that the Nabiscos don't have clean hands, they keep on trying to get us to fight their fight against the top hat community. Y'all heard what Candace Owens said. That's because of the fact nobody has more of moral cachet than foundational Black Americans. Nobody has more, not even just political capital, but all over global capital than foundational Black Americans. Name me one group. Go ahead and do it. You can't do it. I know you can't. There is no one around this globe that is anywhere close morally, spiritually, or any otherly than foundational Black Americans. And that's why a lot of folks hate us. A lot of folks that ain't us hate us. Is for that reason. They know they're not like us. That's why all of them hate that song that Kendrick put out, because as soon as it came out and we made it, well, it was already made as an anthem for us, but we made sure people knew that this was an anthem for us. Everybody started trying to big up Drake. And that's why these folks did not ever try to give Kendrick his credit on that damn song, even though people in Africa was out there talking about, "They not like us, they not like us." People in Europe, "They're not like us. They're not like us." People in Spain, I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but, they were saying it in Spain. I saw several videos of Kendrick Lamar being played in Spain. Couldn't tell you what they were saying, but damn it, they're doing it. That's because they know they're not like us. They know they can't compare where they can't compete. And that is what grinds their gears. That's what gets them on their Peter Griffin. "Oh, that really grinds my gears." But the number one thing that gets to them is the fact that they get over here and they see that we are not them. We don't japa. We fight the good fight. We stand on our square and catch those hands. And sometimes I might need to borrow an extra couple of hands. Hey, let me call up my sister Natural. Natural, can I borrow your hands? I'm going to need to smack a couple of tethers. And these two just won't do. Hey, Miss Nisi, I need you to bring those hurricane hands over here. You know what I mean? Just let me borrow them for 24 hours because I need to slap 5 or 6 of these tethers, and 2 hands just won't do. Oh, our sister Natural's bringing 2 more. 4 hands still ain't enough. That's what really pisses them off. They're not like us. They don't fight like us. They don't move like us. And guess what? They don't work hard like us. Shout out to us. She said, Miss Nisi, stay ready. And that's why I'm saying I have to bring that hurricane through. And then for dessert, I'm going to call Cooking with Miss D. I'm like, hey, Miss D, I'm going to need you to come on over here. And I'm going to need you to give a couple of backhands with some, I don't know, you could put some, a little, what is it, whipped cream on there, put a strawberry on top, make it a sundae, and just slap them across the face with it. We need that. These folks hate that we're fighters and they're fleers. We're the different type of F word. We're the fighters, they're the fleers. They put on their air fleas and they get the fleeing up out of there. And you know, air fleas got wings on the side of them, so they just start floating out of the country. And if they don't got air fleas, they still float out of the country, except it's on the inner tube. I digress. Let me give a B1 salute. Let me give a B1 salute to One Up once again. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution as always. Keep cooking and educating, my good brother. Much love to you, and I appreciate you. And shout out to our brother Antithesis once again for the super chat. Thank you for your contribution. It is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always. Cut the check. It is that simple, that plain, and that's what they're trying to fight against. No, you didn't. She said air fleas equal flip-flops. The flop be flipping. That's how they float up out of there. Love that. Shout out to my sister for that one. Air fleas equal flip-flops. You know what I'm saying? With the little attachable side clip. You know what I mean? Ain't even sandals. It's the flip-flop. Toe open toes. Your toes out, my guy. How are you going to talk to me as a man and you out here with your toes out? No. Let's be very clear about that. Ain't none of y'all got no ability to talk to none of us in the FBA America at all. If you come around us with your toes out, it ain't working out for you, buddy. The back of your heels all ashy and peeling and stuff like that. You need a stone. You need a foot stone. Many of you, go and get a foot stone. I know you're used to using the back of your heel to stomp down on foo-foo, to make your foo-foo nice and moist, but you can go and get you a nice stick to do the same type of job as the back of your heel. Go and get y'all some foot stones. And that's an advice coming from Foundational Black Americans here in Foundational Black America. And once you get you a foot stone, you make sure you get you that little oatmeal foot scrub, and you get down there and you scrub them damn hooves. See, she just gave me the word I was looking for. Hooves and flip-flops. You got to scrub those crusty, dusty, musty hooves. And after you scrub those dusty hooves off, after you done made sure to get in between those decrepit little toes you got, you go and you put some lotion on there. Lotion might not do the work. You might just absorb the lotion like a sponge. So you might want to go and get you some baby lotion, some baby powder, maybe some baby oil, and put all three on there. And hopefully that'll fix the problem that you all have with your goddamn decrepit ass feet. I got to say it. If nobody else going to give you some advice, I'm going to give you some advice. Stop using the back of your heels to break down the corn in order to make foo-foo. It isn't doing you any good. And it's unsanitary. You feed people foo-foo that you goddamn stomped down on with the heel of your feet. That's disgusting. Shout out to Miss Nisi. She said Vaseline, industrial strength. You don't, hey, you know they don't sell that. You got to buy that from like a business to business company. Like they don't just sell industrial strength Vaseline to the public. You know, that's very dangerous. So you got to go, in order to get that industrial strength, you got to go to an industrial source, because they know that that Vaseline is meant to be used on different machine parts in order to keep them lubricated. You put industrial Vaseline on your gears in order to keep the gears moving, right? You know, so, you know, industrial strength might be hard to find, you know. But if you can find industrial strength Vaseline, you absolutely need to go ahead and purchase that. If you need to start a business to get it, you need to start a business to get it. Shout out to our good brother B1 Business in the building. Shout out to you, my good brother. Let's continue.
Now, the reason I hate this argument is because it's made in bad faith. And it's made in bad faith because what you're trying to say is, because other forms of slavery existed, we need to stop paying special attention to the enslavement of African people. But what you fail to include in your argument is the differences in the long-standing effects of these different forms of slavery. Now, I don't know your race. I don't know your nationality. I don't know where you came from. I'm not going to pretend to. But based off of how you worded this, I assume that if I were to ask you when the last time your family was enslaved, who they were enslaved by, what government, for how long, under what country they were enslaved, you probably couldn't give me an answer to any of that. And you couldn't answer it because it probably happened thousands of years ago, if it happened at all, under a government that probably doesn't even exist anymore. Now compare that to the experiences of African people all over the globe who were enslaved under governments that still exist today, and in the case of America, literally fought a civil war over whether or not we even could be considered human beings. In addition to this, all forms of slavery are not the same, and the form of slavery experienced by African people was incredibly unique. It was race-based chattel slavery. What this means is that it wasn't based off of debt. It wasn't based off of conquering another people. It was based off of, if you're black, you're not human. And since you're not human, I can own you and your children in perpetuity. This was the ideology that built America and most of the other Western countries. Many of the laws that are on the books today were written in a time where I wouldn't even be considered a human being. Black people have been enslaved in the Western world longer than we have been free. And that being said, 400 plus years of discrimination and systemic abuse can't just be undone overnight. Even if people aren't as consciously racist now as they were 200 years ago, the system is still racist because it was made with the intention of being racist. Not that much has changed. The country that you live in right now most likely profited off of the dehumanization of African people. That's why it can't be ignored. I usually don't.
Shout out to that young brother there, and that's why I keep on saying, y'all hating this generation. Y'all ain't gonna like the youth that's coming up behind us. Y'all not gonna like the youth that's coming up behind us not one damn bit if you hating us. Oh, you're gonna despise the next generation. Why? Because this generation is making it very clear, making it known, making it very apparent to everyone what is owed to us and how we don't give a damn about anybody else coming with their nonsensical rhetoric, coming with their problems to us and saying that's what we should be supporting and all that other stuff. The youth is watching this. The youth is watching us. And because the youth is watching us and we're standing on our square, that once again, it gives them that power that they knew we always got dang had. This generation right here, in the past 10 years, has raised up a lot more of the youth than anybody in centuries before. And when I say raised up the youth, I mean put the youth on our shoulders because we refuse for them to have the same fight that we have. We're fighting to make sure that they're going to be okay. And they see that and they appreciate that and they know that. And so now they're living that. And they're not letting anybody come talk no shit to them from anywhere. They're making sure that, hey, so you know, I'm a young person, but I know more than you think I know. Because I have a generation before me that wanted to make sure that we were educated enough to know what we know today. We got a generation before us that brought us people who wanted to make sure that white supremacy was eliminated, like Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. And I got to say this every time, it's a caveat, but still, I know he's not a doctor, but in my eyes, he's Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. because he didn't put way too much information out here that should just be considered his dissertation. So in my eyes, that's Dr. Neely Fuller Jr., but I digress. Our brother wanted us to fight the good fight, to eliminate the system of white supremacy and replace it with a system of justice. And our children and the next generation is seeing that. They appreciate that. And they also appreciate the fight that has been given to us, that we put on our shoulders. And we didn't even expect to get as far as we gotten in 10 years. Why? Because you have people like Al Sharpton talking about, we might not see it today. The next generation might not see it, but one day our people will be free. No, we're over here telling people all god dang day. It ain't going to take 2 or 3 generations down the line. Nah, this shit stops with us. And the next generation, their fight is going to be different. Whatever the fight is, it won't be this fight. And as I stated, the youth is seeing it and the youth is actually loving it. And by us standing on our square, it gives them all power and gives them all feeling inside of them. I don't even know how to explain that. I don't want to say I don't know how, but I can't explain it in the way that the ancestors can. So I'm going to just say it's going to give them that ancestral spirit, that majora spirit to stand on the same type of lineage business. Because it's them on the line. It's their children on the line and their children's children on the line. See, foundational Black Americans we don't make this about us. We watched the last generation who became just so content with making sure that they kept their special little giveaways like Social Security and keep meds down lower than, whatever dollar amount. And we're sitting here saying we don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, if our children isn't taken care of, if our children have to fight the same fight, we're the fucking failures. And I have to say that word because it's apropos. We're the fucking failures if we don't make sure that they don't have to deal with this. And you ain't never seen a generation speak in the manner in which we speak to make sure they don't have to go through the same things. That's the facts. And shout out to our sister Natural. We were born for this moment to correct this mess. And you are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And everybody knows it. Because they ain't never seen a generation like this before. They ain't never seen a generation where they can't introduce something into the fold to distract us. They ain't never seen a generation who's saying, I respect what our previous generations did, but we're fighting the same fight that they fought. And we're not going to allow our children to do the same thing that we had to do. They've never seen this before. They've never seen people come together without even having to come together. We ain't never, all of us here, we ain't never all been in the same location, but we came to the same damn conclusion. And why is that? Because the ancestors work and move through all of us. In the very same way those Nabiscos used to be terrified of the medicine woman on the plantation. That's why they used to try to treat her so damn good. Because in their heads, they thought that, God dang it, she can not only can she make me well, but, she can make me sick. And that's what the fear is right now that they're seeing all over again, that plantation fear, when they're seeing, God dang it, the spirit of the ancestors circling around us and everything that we do and everything that we're saying, and everybody that's going against what we do and what we're saying, they're catching that ABK expeditious lay. That's what got all of these folks terrified. Now imagine putting reparations on top of it. I want to go here real quick, family. Even the conservative blacks, quote unquote, they're starting to use the same type of lingo. Now, maybe not all the way, but they are. I want to go over here, and I know you guys remember this person. He was on that goddamn panel of all those tethers who was supposed to be going against Amanda Seals. Let's hear what he had to say, shall we?
I know y'all have seen the debate or the clips that I've done with Chad Jackson already. Let me make this clear. Black people do have a case for reparations in this country. It's not about making white people pay for anything, though. The United States federal government at one point in its own founding document called us, Black Americans, 3/5 of a person. That is federally sanctioned segregation. It is federally sanctioned injustice. It's federally sanctioned immorality. So what America should do, and what America could always do, and has always had the option to do, is repent in full of that sin and cut Black people a check of some kind. When Dr. King gave the I Have a Dream speech, and he said that the American government has given the Negro people a bad check, a check that has come back marked insufficient funds, he didn't stop there. He said, we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds hidden within the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. And so we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. Chad Jackson wants to attack Dr. Martin Luther King and say that he was preaching a social gospel and that he was a communist. Let me explain something to you. If the United States federal government in its own constitution can say I'm 3/5 of a person, and then you dare call yourself a Christian, where in the book of Acts it says, out of one blood, God had made all nations of men to dwell upon the face of the earth. That means there's somebody lying. And that book has stood the test of time. You can't call us men. You can't say everyone is made in God's image, but then not value me as a man, not see us as a man. I'm not saying also, by the way, that we need to get a full-on cash injection, a full-on straight up and down cash payment. That would bankrupt the U.S. economy. That would cause hyperinflation. But I will be damned. I don't know what the reparations plan should look like, but I know for a fact that an injustice was committed that generated billions of dollars for the South that Black people never got their fair share of, never got their cut of. So what I will do when I run for office, what I will do when I run for president, is look at what could be logically done to give some degree of, one, a formal apology for slavery. Two, what can we do economically to actually assist modern descendants of slaves? Period. Because that's what should happen. It is never unjust to correct a previous injustice. It's never too late to correct a previous mistake. Period. Not in this case. Period. Point blank. End of story.
All right. I'm going to agree with him in some parts, because the some parts that I agree with actually came from the foundational Black American grassroots. So I agree with those points because those points are ours. Here's the difference. Notice he said, I don't know if it should be a check because that would bankrupt the country. We're saying you got the money because you got it for everything else. So if it bankrupts the country, we'll bankrupt this bitch then. Let's see what happens when we get the funds to do what we need to do. Here's another thing that a lot of these folks don't like to say when they talk about bankrupting the country. How do you bankrupt a country? By giving its citizens what's owed to them when the citizens will be putting the money back into the country. This isn't like giving it to a goddamn tether who sends the money outside of the country to their family back home. This isn't like giving the money to a goddamn freaking illegal alien who will use the money to build wealth and then what? Send that right back home or go back to their country and build houses there so that they can retire there after working here in America for however long. We're not playing this game of no reparations. So if you are running for office, you're going to lose. If you are running for the presidency, you're going to lose. because nobody is going to be able to tell us or goddamn classify what reparation is, because we already have examples of what reparations is. You're going to give us our damn money. You're going to give us a damn land. You're going to give us our damn policies of protection and otherwise. You're going to go through all the goddamn from state to state government. You're going to go through all their laws on the books and make sure there is nothing derogatory or targeting foundational Black Americans. You're going to make sure our children don't have to worry about a proper education. You're going to make sure our people don't have to worry about starting businesses if we want to. There'll be business grants. There'll be a whole revamp on the business loan side for foundational Black Americans. That's how you're supposed to speak if you want to be president. And everyone will benefit from it. Why? Because we are Americans. So as we build in America, everybody in America will also benefit from us building. The problem has always been that the Nabiscos have never took the time to see that. All they care about is upholding their system of white supremacy. So when people say, we're doing better 50 years. Well, we're doing better today than we was 50 years ago. White people aren't as bad as they were 50 years ago. White people aren't as racist as they were 50 years ago. You're telling a blatant lie. And let me tell you why you're telling a blatant lie. Because all of these Nabiscos are still trying to uphold the system of white supremacy so that they would never have to compete. Let me say that one more time for all the idiots in the back of the classroom. You know, we got the gifted students here, and we all know this already. We got other, gifted professors in the chat. We got gifted students. We got gifted people who know all this. But for all the people in the back of the classroom, the people that get upset about us talking about these things, let me be very clear when I say this once again. Nabiscos would also benefit from reparations because our reparations wouldn't be leaving this country. Our reparations would build this country and you would benefit from it because you're a part of the country. You're a citizen of the country. You've just been conditioned to go against anything Black because you want to protect the system of white supremacy. You are the vanguard of white supremacy. And we, foundational Black Americans, we're the vanguards of reparation in this country. Damn everybody else, we're not everybody else. Damn who was enslaved over there, who was enslaved over there, who was enslaved upwards, who was enslaved downward. That has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with our grievance. It has nothing to do with our claim. It has nothing to do with what is owed to us as foundational Black Americans who built this nation. Nothing at all. Two more quick clips and then we're going to get up out of here and close out. Let's go here, family.
We built America. Yeah. Yes, we built America. We got nothing. Y'all got 400 fucking plus years of free fucking labor that you parlayed into an empire and gave us nothing. No reparations, no money, no nothing. And we're not getting reparations. We're not getting land. And then when we try to get the certifications to go sell shit legally, y'all put a freeze on the. Now I can't get a hot dog stand. I can't sell a table outside. I gotta have a veteran that's fried out of his mind on opioids to try to get, like, what the. And if I go do it without you sending me to jail,
it's illegal basically. If you know
what the. Because you know how hard Black people work just to even the fucking playing field, bro.
Yeah.
We
Since the Jews have received their reparations from Germany, I believe Germany is still paying reparations to the descendants of
they're still paying
of those people. We've paid reparations to the Japanese in the internment camps. We've paid reparations to the Chinese that was misused on the railroads. We've paid, I believe, or I think they're working on it, but we paid reparations for the Native Americans.
Yes, we have.
You know, but for the descendants of slaves that actually built this country, that built Wall Street, you know, the first thing that was traded on Wall Street was bonds for about black people, about slaves. Those were the first publicly traded things on Wall Street.
Facts.
So if we've enriched this country for 400 years and you don't have the money, there's a thing called the Brattle Group, independent statistics organization that did an evaluation on African Americans or the descendants of slaves. And they said that it's over 108 to 131 trillion dollars. That's
Before we let him continue, I'm sorry, I'll run it back.
on
I did not mean to cut him off, but our sister made such a fantastic point. The Afro-French need to speak to the to the Dominicans need to speak to Spain, and we are speaking to our government. We built the White House, so we're talking to the people inside of it. That right there is so fire. I got to give you a round of applause. We are speaking to the people inside of the White House in which we built. Just like all areas was built by us in some shape, form, or fashion, just like Wall Street was quite literally black labor, white wealth. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. We're speaking to the people that we need to speak to. Everybody else needs to go around and speak to the people they need to speak to. Let's be very clear on that. And that is a very profound statement. We built the White House, so we're speaking to the people inside of it. Shout out my sister Rosemary. That was a fantastic contribution. Let's continue.
African Americans or the descendants of slaves. And they said that it's over 108 to 131 trillion dollars that's owed to the descendants of slaves.
Wow.
Now, we don't make that in 10 years.
No.
Our country does not have that money free to pay out.
GDP.
So they're never able to pay us. So since they have built their entire country off of our labor for 400 years without any type of compensation, the only thing that I would think would be fair is for the next 400 years or 500 years or however long it's been, the descendants of slaves should not have to pay any taxes. Since the Jews have received their reparations.
Yeah, tax-free is just one small part of it. But shout out to him for what he said, because for the most part, it's true. The difference is if you're not a part of the black grassroots, you're not speaking like the black grassroots in its totality. Now, you can name all the people that received reparations and it wasn't a problem, just like we do. But the second you start saying, well, we should have like a cash exempt status. We should, I don't know what reparations will look like, but it needs to be paid out. You're not us at that point in time. You might start talking like us and end out somewhere else. At the end of the day, if you're not cutting the damn check, if you're not cutting the damn check, nothing you do will mean a thing. Cut the damn check. If you give us land without cutting the check, that land can be taken back as soon as we can't pay the taxes on it. So us having tax exempt status, that should be a part of it. Yes, absolutely. Unless you're going to give us the land with tax exempt status. But they're not, because of the fact that they want to make sure something happens in a way where that money is going to come back to them. I say tax exempt status should be on the bill itself. And then also, you can get all the other type things like, the check, that should be the first and foremost, the land, free college like the Native Americans get, or the so-called Native Americans. We should be able to govern ourselves just like the so-called Native Americans. Wherever we're located should be considered sovereign land. Let's just put all this to bed about what reparations should be. We already have a working model. Give us everything that you gave to the so-called Native Americans. Family, at the end of the day, these people are terrified of your power. And this is why one of the things that I make sure to do on this network, on this channel, in every broadcast that I do, I make sure to remind our folks how much power we're wielding. Because if you don't know you're wielding power, you're going to go off and follow other people's talking points. You might just be running around here like Rafiki, praising the Nabiscos, saying we're being too mean. All white people aren't to blame. All these folks who don't come from our culture just so happen to think we're being too mean to the Nabisco. But what we're doing is shutting down the nonsensical rhetoric of the Nabisco, like slavery happened everywhere, so everyone should be paid reparations if that's the case. Now, I will agree with that one point right there. Everyone should be paid reparations if you were enslaved. Just not by America. You go wherever the hell you was enslaved by and get your reparations from them. Stop trying to shoehorn everybody into our reparations. That has nothing to do with no one outside of foundational Black America whatsoever. So all you tethers, nothing you say will turn us around 180 degrees. Nothing you say will turn us 90 degrees. We're on the path we're supposed to be on. We're on the track that we're supposed to be on, and are trained and left the goddamn station. To all the Nabiscos, you can't give me bad faith arguments to change my mind. All I'm going to do is shut down your damn bad faith arguments. All we're going to do is continue to shut down your bad faith arguments, to continue to show people how barbaric you are and how barbaric you were. We're going to continue to explain to everybody why America needs us to do what we need to do, or else America will crumble if we don't, because the Nabisco really don't love America. The Nabisco never has really loved America. It has always been a lick to any Nabisco, no matter where the Nabisco is coming from, whether Italy, whether Ireland, whether Germany, Scotland. None of these folks are America first. The only people that's ever been America first has been the only real Americans, foundational Black Americans. You don't have to like it. I understand. Sometimes children don't like having to get their ass whipped from time to time, but guess what? That ass whooping will help that child grow up in the way they're supposed to be. When you spoil the rod, when you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And how many people came to this country who's been spoiled by not having to actually deal with us? How many people have been spoiled because they're in proximity to us and they can use our struggle for their own benefits. We're done spoiling the child. And we're done sparing the rod. So when you talk about FBA, when you disrespect our lineage, heritage, and culture because you want to get ahead, oh yeah, like I said, we're done spoiling the rod and everybody's getting the same old thing. And trust me when I say I'm not just talking about the tether on that one. Nabiscos, that goes for you too. So you could come talking all that nonsense about scam Africanism. You can come talking that nonsense about everybody from that's African descent should be fighting together for reparations. And all I hear out of your mouth is what our boy Oswald was talking about.
Internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection.
We're not getting put into anybody else's fight. We ain't getting put into anybody else's shenanigans or chicanery at all. We are tunnel visioned in this fight for justice because that's what we deserve. That's what our ancestors deserve. That's what our children deserve. That's what our children's children deserve is justice. So to everybody that want us to fight the fight with white supremacy, picking a side, whether you're going with the Nabisco or the top hat, even though they're both Nabiscos, I don't give a damn about it. I want you to know this is how we feel about you.
Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch!
Because nothing you say is worth $1, especially a foundational Black American dollar. With that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you hit that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click the link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparation, as well as hitting the link to the Telegram group. Join the Telegram group so we can help circumvent the whole shadow banning that PukeTube has been doing with the new Black media. Family, before we get up out of here, I want to make sure I do this. Give me one hot second. I ain't did it in a hot second. Let me pull this down. Before we get up out of here, family, I want to give a B1 salute to our good brother, Black RU. Thank you for your Cashapp donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. Let me also give another shout out to our brother, Mr. Know-It-All. Thank you for your super chat. Your super chat is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good brother. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Shout out to you, my good brother. Let the church say amen. Amen, amen. And let me also do this. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. My bad. I don't know what happened there. Let me hold on real quick. There we go. Let me give a certified B1 salute to each and every one of you, because standing on business, standing on your square is making everybody else move in circles. And there's an old saying that you circle the square and square the circle, but when you stand on your square, the circle must circle you. And everything that you done, everything that you did, everything that you said, everything that you stood on is just the fuel for the train that is still on the damn tracks. And as long as we're standing on that business, The train will continue to move. It will continue to move at expeditious speeds. It went from 267 miles per hour, and now we're moving at 400 miles per hour. Isn't that quite literally considered a bullet train? You can call us a bullet train. We are one tunnel minded. We are tunnel visioned. Because as I said, if it's not us, then who? And you can see the youth watching us, and they're becoming us. They're not becoming the folks who want to sell us out. With that being said, family, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, all my mods, my members, everybody who is here, everybody on my Patreons. Much love to each and every one of you. Your videos will be coming tomorrow. They sent me an email today, told me that my situation should be fixed. So I should be able to record some stuff tonight, and you'll have it tomorrow. Much love to each and every one of you. And shout out to our good brother Jesse Parrish for posting this. And I want to make sure I share this. Once again, I want to wish each and every one of you a happy Arota Susi. And I want to make sure each and every one of you have a beautiful rest of the night. With that being said, family, peace, much love, and the doors of the church are now closed. Shout out to each and every one of you, fam.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. So fuck everybody. I'm out.